Well, a night after a gut-wrenching loss to the West Virginia Power, the Lancaster Barnstormers seek some revenge. Last night, an 8-0 lead that was built over the first 4 innings got away. West Virginia came from behind to win it by a final score of 11-10. There was plenty of craziness in the ball game last night. Of course, the biggest episode was the incident with the umpire at first base in the bottom half of the first inning. There had been, as I suspected, a previous incident with that umpire and the West Virginia Power, and the Power had requested that he not return to any of their games. And last night he showed up. West Virginia didn't want him here, and that is basically, in a nutshell, what initially delayed the game for several moments before we got started, and even longer in the bottom half of the first inning, without getting into any of the uglier details of the previous incident. There were also a couple of other things that happened last night. The balk call in the bottom half of the fifth inning, that was arguably something that could have been protested by manager Ross Peoples, as the explanation he got when he went out to ask why it was a balk was not suitable and seemed to go against the interpretation of the rules. It was a rules interpretation question and not a judgment call, and that is when a game can be protested. So that could have happened last night and didn't. Other people have told me that on a key play in the seventh inning, a ball was ruled to have fallen in, but Trayvon Robinson mentioned to me last night, he said DeAza did catch that ball in center field. It wasn't a trap, so we'll take Trayvon's word for it without any other sources that maybe that was also something that happened last night that did not go in the Barnstormers' favor. But that could all be construed as sour grapes. There were a lot of other opportunities for the Barnstormers to win that game last night, and they simply didn't pull it out, losing 11-10. Still they're in first place. Still they've won 7 out of their last 10 games. Tonight, the Barnstormers' version of Harry Houdini, Niall Ball, will take the mound. He is 2-2 with a 4 ERA. His last 3 starts, he's gone 2-0 with a 1.8 earned run average, and he doesn't dominate the games, but he is just incredibly feisty and has an unbelievable knack of getting out of really tight spots without giving up runs. His mound opponent tonight is Eric Sakula, who is one of the few West Virginia players who's been here since the start of the year. Ball is 2-2. Sakula is 5-7, but each pitcher facing this particular opponent for the first time. The Barnstormers will be led off tonight by Caleb Gindel. He will be in right. Blake Allemond is the second baseman, batting number 2. Alejandro DeAza tonight will serve as the DH and bat third. The cleanup hitter is the first baseman, Kelly Dugan. Trayvon Robinson in left field, batting 5th. Devon Torrance will make the start in center and bat 6th. Anderson De La Rosa is catching, hitting 7th. Nick Schumpert is the third baseman, batting 8th. And the shortstop is Clea Luis Rondon in the number 9 slot with Ball on the hill. For West Virginia, or Charleston, as they will represent themselves tonight, the Charleston Charlies, it will be Teodoro Martinez leading off in left. The third baseman, batting number 2, is Alberto Callaspo. Jimmy Paredes, who had 3 doubles last night, is the designated hitter, batting third. Edwin Espinal, the cleanup batter and first baseman. Olmo Rosario is the second baseman, batting number 5. Reimer Liriano will be in right field, batting 6th. Connor Kopach is the shortstop, batting 7th. The catcher hitting 8th is Jovan Gonzalez. And Connor Myers is in center field, batting 9th, with the right-hander Eric Sakula on the mound. Sakula, a 32-year-old California native, but he went to both high school and college in this area. He attended Marshall, was drafted out of there by Toronto, and he has been around independent league and foreign leagues for several years now, and comes back home to West Virginia for 2021. Right now, the Charlies are on the field, and we're going to send you down that way for the performance of our national anthem.
For the singing of our national anthem. Performing the anthem tonight is Mo Hamilton.
A clarinet solo for our national anthem this evening at Appalachian Power Park. That was an interesting rendition, and glad that I was here for it. The Barnstormers taking on the Charleston Charlies tonight in the middle game of a 3-game series. I have mentioned previously when these two clubs have gotten together that once a series, the West Virginia Power does play as a previous rendition of baseball in Charleston back from their days at the AAA level with the several different organizations here. In fact, back in the 70s and the early 80s, they were dubbed the Charleston Charlies, and there is the possibility that that name and that identity will be resurrected fully in 2022. They have not made the decision on that as of yet. They have also been, over time, the Charleston Wheelers in here before becoming the West Virginia Power upon the opening of this ballpark back in 2005. Eric Sakula on the hill tonight for the Charlies, 5'10", 200-pounder. And again, he was born in California but grew up in this area in Hurricane, West Virginia, which is between here and Huntington. He attended college at Marshall, went to the Toronto Blue Jays, and made it to Double-A in that organization. He pitched in this league previously for Somerset. And again, this ball club has been the Somerset West, with many former members of the Patriots playing here in Charleston for the 2021 season. Even their manager, Mark Minikazi, is a former Somerset Patriot. So a lot of familiar faces in this Charleston lineup, and Sakula is one of those. He really made his mark, though, the last 3 seasons of baseball in the Can-Am Association. He was 26-15 for the Quebec Capitals those 3 years. He's backed up defensively by Alberto Callaspo at third. The shortstop is Connor Kopach. At second base, Omo Rosario. Edwin Espinal is at first. The outfield has Teodoro Martinez in left. Connor Myers is in center. Reimer Liriano is the right fielder. And Jovan Gonzalez tonight, speaking of former Somerset Patriots, is doing the catching, working with Sakula. 16th start for Sakula, first against the Barnstormers, overall 5-7 with a 4.48 earned run average. Facing Caleb Gindel at the outset of play tonight. Here is the first pitch of the ball game, and it tails outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count to Gindel. Caleb last night walked twice, scored a run. Officially was 0 for 2 as the designated hitter. Next offering, swing and a fly ball to shallow right center field. That will drop for a base hit, and Gindel is on for the first time with a single in this series. Barnstormers with their leadoff man on. Not terribly well hit by Gindel, but he'll take that. Just a shallow pop fly falling in right center. Liriano and Myers were both fairly deep against him. Ladarius Clark at the moment coaching first base for the Barnstormers. Ross Peoples is over at third, and the batter is Blake Alleman, the second baseman, who had a grand slam for his only hit last night. Sakula to the plate, and Alleman will look at a strike. It is 0-1. 288 for Alleman with 15 home runs, 16 doubles, and he has driven in 39 on the season. Gindel, short lead off first, held by Espinal. 0-1, the count to Alleman. Sakula from the set delivers, and Blake chases a swing and a miss. And it is no balls and 2 strikes with the designated hitter Alejandro De Aza waiting on deck. Sakula has walked 18, struck out 64 in his 82 and a third innings of work. 4.48 the ERA. That is low and gets between the legs of Gonzalez and Gindel will head to second base. We'll see how that one is ruled. That one could go either way, wild pitch or pass ball, so I'm not going to offer my opinion as of yet. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on Alleman with the runner now in scoring position. Outfield straight away against Alleman. The infield slightly around toward the right. Gindel leads off second now. Here comes the 1-2, and it is taken outside. The count to Blake Alleman leveling at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It will be a wild pitch. Charge to Sakula that moves Gindel ahead. Allemand awaits the 2-2. Sakula ready to go. The pitch, cut on and missed. A lot of movement on it from the right-hander. That's his game. Allemand strikes out. And for the Barnstormers now, a runner at second with one out for De Aza. 305 hitter is Alejandro with 6 homers and 47 runs batted in. And Alejandro, with his method of greeting, both the home plate umpire and the catcher, he taps him on the leg with his bat. Just a very gentle hello for both Pat Atkin, the plate umpire this evening, and catcher Yovan Gonzalez. We have a brand new crew in here for tonight. I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with the incident with the one umpire last night. First pitch is on the outside corner to De Aza. It's 0-1, but Atkin has the plate. Andy McPherson is the name of the first base umpire, and Greg Loesch is over at third. Atkin, the only one of the three we have seen previously. No balls, 1 strike. Gindel takes the lead off of second. Sakula works to De Aza, who's, as always, up about an inch or so on the bat handle, and Alejandro turns on it and laces a foul down the right side up into the seats. Sakula's got him now at no balls and 2 strikes. On deck is the Barnstormers' premier hitter with runners in scoring position, Kelly Dugan. It's been nothing but strikes for a while from Sakula. And he is a control specialist. De Aza batting at 0-2. The motion, the pitch. High and outside, and Alejandro refused to chase. Ball 1, 2 strikes the count. De Aza with runners in scoring position, batting .319, so right around his average for the season. Dugan, on the other hand, an amazing .421 with runners in scoring position. Here comes the 1-2. De Aza lets it go, and ball 2. Tails back across the plate, but below the knees. Count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes on De Aza. The scoreboard seems to be stuck. It is still operating at 0-1. Gindel off second base. De Aza awaiting the 2-2, and that is outside. Alejandro not cooperating by chasing pitches out there from Sakula. 3-2 to the Barnstormer designated hitter. De Aza 3 for 9 in the DH capacity coming into tonight. Full count is on its way. Sakula will deliver, and De Aza will spoil. We'll do it all over again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. Gindel, a runner at second base. Sakula has been averaging about 5.5 innings per start. He is capable of going deep into games. 3-2, and that is wrapped to the shortstop. Holding at second is Gindel. The throw from Kopach cuts down De Aza. 2 quick outs here in the first inning, and Dugan is left in charge of getting this run home. 327 overall for Kelly with 8 home runs. Number 8 was in the first inning last night, and it was a tremendous poke to dead center, hitting high off the screen behind the center field wall, better than 400 feet away from the plate. Now we'll just take a base hit. Dugan, for about the last month, has been averaging better than an RBI per game. Gindel leads off second. Here's the pitch to Kelly. Swung on, line, base hit, right field. Liriano will dig it up. Gindel is coming. So is the throw. Here's the play at the plate, and he is safe as the throw is mishandled by Gonzalez. Gindel scores on the RBI base hit by Dugan, who's just a ribby machine right now, and the Barnstormers take the 1-0 lead here in the top half of the first inning. Dugan, a 2-run homer last night, an RBI single in this game. Liriano was deep against Dugan, and that enabled the run to score. Barnstormers get the man home. Trayvon Robinson will come to the plate. For Dugan now, 27 runs batted in 24 contests. Sakula ready to go, and to Robinson, a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Trayvon with a base hit and a walk late last night. 251 for the year with 8 homers, 40 runs batted in. I'll tell you, he's in a slump. We've talked about the numbers, but I've never seen anybody get more pitches on the corners and right on the edges than Trayvon has seen recently. Ball 1, strike 1. He's taken a lot of pitches for strikes that are just right on the edge. 1-1. Dugan leads off first. Sakula to the set and a Trayvon. Foul ball back into the screen. It is 1-2. The Barnstormers with the one former Somerset Patriot, and he's a guy in the batter's box. It's so easy to forget that Robinson played for Somerset before coming to Lancaster. And even before that, one year he was in spring training with the Long Island Ducks, and his contract was purchased before the season ever started. 2 outs, runner on, and to Robinson. He's forced back off the plate with ball 1. It is 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're going to be, at least for a while, flying by the seat of our pants here tonight because the scoreboard is frozen. The video portion is fine, but the line score is not operational. 2-2 is actually the count to Robinson. Dugan held by Espinal. The pitch to Trayvon. A check swing. Did he go? He did not, says the third base umpire. And Robinson now bats with a full count. 2 outs, and Dugan the runner at first base. Kelly will be on the move here. Everybody in the first base coach's box, doesn't matter what player's out there, or Troy Steffi, doesn't matter. They have that stopwatch, and they'll twirl it. Watching Clark, he's doing the same thing. Can be a nervous habit. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Robinson. Espinal drops back. Dugan takes off, and strike 3 is called on the inside corner. Trayvon has to feel sometimes the TrackMan has it in for him. The pitch tailed back a long way. He thought he read it as ball 4, and it just caught the edge of that invisible pane of glass. 1 run on 2 hits with no errors. The runner left at first base. We'll go to the bottom of the first. The Barnstormers take the early lead. It is Lancaster 1 and Charleston coming up.
Hey, $2 bill here, a.k.a. the rare one. Problem is, I'm so rare, people just saved me. But thanks to the new Cash Vibe with Quick Cash from the PA Lottery, I'm back in business. For just $2, you can get bigger jackpots starting at $150,000. Plus Quick Cash, a chance to instantly win $2 or $6. Haha, it's good to be wanted.
Play Cash 5 with Quick Cash from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
When everyone has a different craving, Wegmans Meals to Go has it all. All right now, all in one delivery. Pizza with the kids' favorite toppings. A delicious sub made the way you love. Fresh sushi for the whole group, and so much more. It's how busy people get busy eating the meals they love. Order on the Meals to Go app or at mealstogo.com to make everyone happy. Wegmans Meals to Go. All your favorite meals, all in one delivery.
Niall Ball makes the start for the Barnstormers this evening. The Georgia native from Decatur, 5'11", 207 pounds, and 24 years of age. It's his 7th start, and amazingly, after tonight, he will have faced all of his Atlantic League opponents as a starter, seeing them once each. 2-2 with a 4 ERA, 36 innings, 42 hits. He's walked 24, struck out 17. Talked about the Houdini Act. He had a start against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs as of recent days, and that he threw shutout baseball, but it certainly wasn't without base runners. Ball worked 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, walked 6, and hit 2. So 12 base runners there, no runs coming across the plate. And then the last time out against the Long Island Ducks, we saw a similar result. He gave up 12 hits, hit 1, walked 2, 15 base runners in 7 innings, and yet only 2 of them scored 5 different times. He got out of first and second, 1-out jams without allowing a run in that ball game. Here is Teodoro Martinez leading off. First time he comes up, the kicking of the bat and the hand gestures toward the heavens. Martinez is number 3 in the Atlantic League in batting at the moment, .365, with 4 home runs and 36 runs batted in. The man just ahead of him in the hitting race, the number 2 hitter in the Atlantic League, is the on-deck man, Alberto Callaspo, the former American League third baseman. And then Jimmy Paredes, the designated hitter who doesn't have enough at-bats to qualify, but well, he's hitting pretty well too. Tough part of the lineup to get through. Ball ready to go. First pitch, back to the inside corner, and a strike on Martinez. It is 0-1. Last night, Martinez opened up the game as the designated hitter. He was 0 for 2 on ground balls before departing. Callaspo in the on-deck circle, limbering up. He's getting a bit up there in years. To Martinez, fouled off to the right. Ball is ahead 0-2. The last start against Long Island was especially peculiar in that the innings just kept following the same pattern. Ball retired the leadoff batter in 6 of 7, and then in all 7 innings, the second batter had a base hit. When it was a double, Long Island scored. When it was a single, Long Island did not. It was just an odd ball game. The Barnstormers won it going away 13-3 thanks to the 10-run third inning. And the Martinez fastball is up. It is 1 ball and 2 strikes on the right-handed batting left fielder. Defensively for the Barnstormers, Nick Shumpert's at third tonight. The shortstop is Clea Luis Rendon. Blake Allemond at second. Kelly Dugan at first. Here now is the 1-2. Ball delivers. Gets a chopper toward third. Foul. Martinez able to flick it away on a 1-2 breaking ball. It was probably out of the zone, but he wasn't taking any chances. Trayvon Robinson is in left. Devon Torrance in center. And Caleb Gindel is the right fielder for the Barnstormers tonight. Anderson De La Rosa is working behind the plate. Ball has Martinez at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nile into the motion, 1-2, and that's past everything. Now a 2 ball, 2 strike count. The Barnstormers with the early advantage, 1-0, as Lancaster finally has gotten into a stretch where they're scoring the first run of the game. Now they've done it 30 times in 74 contests. They're 20-9 when they do. 2-2 to Martinez. Turning into a lengthy at-bat to start off the night. Ball has the sign from De La Rosa. The 2-2 is popped up into foul territory, and this will also come back out of play. I believe that ended up over everyone's head and up toward the concourse here. Good crowd at Appalachian Power Park tonight for the middle game of this series. This franchise is growing. I had heard baseball was dying in Charleston back in 2019, but new ownership here, a new vision. That's strike 3 to the inside corner. Martinez goes down looking, and well, he can commiserate with Trayvon, I guess. 1 out, and Alberto Callaspo, the third baseman, will check in. He's hitting .382 with 2 home runs, 36 runs batted in. I keep having to check when I see Callaspo's name on the leaderboard that he has enough plate appearances because we've hardly seen him. He has only played in 2 of the previous 7 meetings against Lancaster. When he has played against the Barnstormers, he's been quite successful. He's 3 out of 5 with a home run. Ball deals outside. It is 1-0. Will the pattern continue? First man's been retired. Does Callaspo, the .382 hitter, pick up a base hit now? The next offering from Ball is taken for a strike. It is 1-1. 1-0 Barnstormers. Here in the first inning, Jimmy Paredes waiting on deck. Next pitch, and Ball falling off balance, misses outside for a 2 ball and 1 strike count. Defense straight up. Here comes the 2-1. Now 3-1. Ball missing outside to Kiaspo. Barnstormers with base hits by Gindel and Dugan. The key to the inning, though, might have been the wild pitch unleashed by Sakula with Alamand at the plate. Strike 2 is taken, and the count goes to full. Were it not for that wild pitch, it would have been a 3-batter inning. Diaza would have grounded into a double play. 3-2, it is high, so it may not be a base hit, but it is the second man of the inning reaching base. 1 out and a runner on. Jimmy Paredes, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. And as you hear overhead, medevac helicopter is circling over us to land at the helipad on top of the hospital, which is adjacent to the ballpark. And it's kind of been sad, scary. I don't know quite the emotions that I've felt today, but that heliport, and this is a major trauma center here, but it has been busy the entire afternoon and early evening. It's been nonstop with the helicopter traffic landing. Here is Jimmy Paredes, who doubled each of his last 3 at-bats last night. He now hits a high pop fly out to right field, down the line, into foul territory. Gindel will make the catch. Quick throw back to first, fails to double up Kiaspo. Paredes fouls out down the right field line, a long way for Gindel to go and collect that one. So the double streak is over for Paredes. Edwin Espinal, the first baseman, will come to the plate. 326 hitter, lightweight. He's the lowest of the first 4. 7 homers and 48 runs batted in. The burly Edwin Espinal. 6'2" and 250 pounds. Right-handed slugger. Digging in with 2 outs. Kiaspo, the runner at first base. Infielders are deep here. The pitch is taken low. It is ball 1 on Espinal. The Barnstormers leading by 1 here in the bottom half of the first inning. 2 outs. Kiaspo, the runner at first base. Espinal digs in with Olmo Rosario on deck. Next pitch, a strike. Ball and Espinal are even at 1-1. It's so good to see Olmo back. Caught up with Scott Kelly, the longtime Patriot, earlier today. He's out with a hand injury. And I asked him if he's glad to have Olmo around. He's like, oh, yeah. Fouled away. 1-2. He referred to Rosario as the ageless wonder. Turns 41 on Tuesday. One ball and 2 strikes to Edwin Espinal. Ball trying to get through the first inning. Check swing. I think he held. He did, says the first base umpire McPherson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Slider down the way, but it was tempting. That at least was headed for the outside corner before it broke. Espinal batting 2-2. 1 for 5 last night. That single, a smash to third that got away from Hoover, drove in the tying run in the 6th inning. Here's a pitch. Espinal with a hopper to first. Leaping up for it is Dugan. A nice play by Kelly, going as high as he can go to latch on to that one hopper. It ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and Charleston strands 1 at the end of an inning. The Barnstormers have the 1-zip lead.
You can enjoy a night at the ballpark and help out the United Way of Lancaster County. All you have to do is spend 3 hours as an usher during a Barnstormers home game, and the ball club will donate $20 in your name to the United Way program of your choice. Be a friendly face, have fun, and raise money for your favorite local charity. To sign up, go to the LancasterBarnstormers.com website and head to the community link, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
This is the sound of someone looking out for the safety of a loved one.
Come here, honey. Let's get you buckled up.
And this is the sound of a Lexus looking out for someone else on the road. At the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, you'll find great deals on our full line of vehicles, each with our advanced standard safety technology. But hurry, the sale ends September 7th. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Pre-collision system with pedestrian detection is not a substitute for safe and attentive driving practices. See owner's manual for additional limitations and details.
The league's top offense, also known as the Lancaster Barnstormers, averaging 7.4 runs per game, which is a startling figure. Reached double digits for the 24th time this season here a night ago. But unfortunately, they have lost several of those. They've given up 10 or more on 25 occasions. And Lancaster, despite all the offense, has still been outscored by 53 runs, roughly 10% so far this year. The pitching, up until the last two games, had gotten a great deal better, and then all of a sudden, it hasn't necessarily been the starters the last two nights. The bullpen has all of a sudden run into a hiccup, squandering a couple of decent-sized leads here the last two games. They inherited 3-1 and later 6-2 on Thursday and 8-3 last night when they took over. Here's a pitch to Devon Torrance. It almost hits the Barnstormers center fielder. 1 ball, no strikes. Devon starts the night batting .246 with 15 runs batted in. And Sakula misses low, 2-0. Certainly doesn't want to put Torrance on. This is a very dangerous base runner. Barnstormers are playing one man short. Blake Galen took this series off to try and heal up from an injury sustained on Thursday. It's not expected to be serious. Ground ball right side. Diving try by Rosario, but it's off his glove and into right field. And Torrance is on with a leadoff single here in the second inning. Sakula and Gonzalez will have to work to keep Torrance's base running game in check. Devon is 10 for 12, so he is not perfect, as are Ladarius Clark and Trayvon Robinson. Clark 18 for 18, and Robinson is 12 for 12. The Barnstormers have tremendous base stealing depth. Torrance on at first base. The hitter is Anderson De La Rosa, batting .261. He was 0 for 1 here last night. He actually came in the 7th inning to spell Anthony Peroni behind the plate, and it batted once, grounded out for the final out of the game. First pitch is low and inside. Ball 1 and no strikes on De La Rosa. De La didn't get a base hit on our first trip here to Charleston, a city that he loves. Played here in the Milwaukee organization many, many years ago, about a decade and a half ago. Still has friends here. 1 ball and nothing. Torrance takes off. The pitch is inside. The throw by Gonzalez has no chance. Rosario couldn't see it. The sun got on his eyes, and all the way to third goes Torrance. An error is going to have to be charged there, and it might be charged to Olmo Rosario. The sun sets straight behind home plate here at Charleston. Center field is a tough sun field, and Olmo Rosario, covering second base on that steal attempt, just realized how difficult it can be to take a throw from that angle at this time of night. Torrance all the way around to third. He's got his 11th steal. There will be an error, and as I said, I would imagine that could go to Rosario, but not his fault. Here is the 1-1 to De La Rosa, taken outside, and a balk has again been charged. This one will score Torrance. And I think we could have the same bit of discussion that we had last night. Jovan Gonzalez is inquiring about it. Mark Minikazi comes out. Sakula is inquiring about it. And this may be a local – a lot of these umpires also call amateur games. And there may be a rule in this area, and they're getting it confused. What I was told last night is that the pitchers are supposed to tell the umpiring crew when they want to pitch out of the windup with a runner at third base. And that was what was called on to Sabatino last night, but that is not, under any circumstances, a rule professionally. So the balk allows Torrance to score as Sakula went to throw a pitch with the runner at third out of the full windup. And Erickson, some disbelief, and so is Gonzalez and Minikazi out there. There definitely seems to be some confusion. But the Barnstormers have a 2-0 lead. And Anderson De La Rosa, that pitch will be erased, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So there's got to be some clarification. If that is what these umpires are calling, there's got to be some clarification. De La Rosa batting with the bases empty. How bizarre. It's a different crew even than last night. One ball, 1 strike to De La Rosa. Sakula ready to go. Swing and a miss. And he has Della at 1-2. Torrance singling into right, steals second, takes third on a mishap, and scores on a balk. To De La Rosa, ball 2, just low. 2 balls and 2 strikes, so the inning ultimately is starting afresh with nobody out and nobody on. 2-2. De La Rosa turns on that and misses. He's down on strikes. Sakula fans his third. And with 1 out here is the third baseman, Nick Shumpert. Shumpert at 221 with 16 runs batted in. No longer playing on an everyday basis since the arrival of Jake Hoover. They are sharing duties in the infield. We might see Jake, after having the night off himself tonight, work his way around the infield and give Allemond a break and give Rendon a break. He's quite adept at playing all 3 positions. Here's the motion and a Shumpert outside and ball 1. 2-0 Barnstormers here in the top of the second inning with 1 out, nobody on base. That's almost a Darian Sanford home run, but not quite for Devon Torrance. You have to steal both second and third. Shumpert gets inside for ball 2. It's 2-0. They did not charge an error yet. Popped up on the right side. This is playable. Calling for it is Espinal on the apron in front of his own dugout. He retires Shumpert for the second out. Clea Luis Rendon was perfect last night to boost his average back to 257. 5 home runs for him and 39 driven in. There has to be an error to explain Torrance going to third base. But ultimately the question is to whom the error would be charged. Gonzalez for the throw or Rosario for the reception. I think ultimately the latter, but again, he was blinded by the sun. He clearly flinched. Ball is high to Rendon. 1-0, 3 for 3 with a walk last night. He had a double, scored twice, drove in 1. Quite a night at the plate for Clea Luis. 1-0 delivery, and this is hit to straightaway center. Connor Myers going back. He's turned around, staggers, and is able to hold on and make the catch while twisting himself into a pretzel. Quite a play by Connor Myers out in center, who turned around about 3 different times, his body contorted as he fell and held the baseball. So in the inning, the Barnstormers pick up 1 run, 1 hit. We're going to call it an error for now. With nobody left on base, we're through 1.5. The Barnstormers leading the West Virginia Power by the score of 2-0.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Come on, everybody. Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Localflavor.com. Local Flavor.
For the youth of our area, the Barnstormers are offering a wide variety of camps throughout the summer to teach everyone some tips on baseball and softball. Camps are offered to kids as young as 4 and as old as 12. Some even involve the parents. They run from June 15 all the way through August 28. For more information, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and click on the Clinics tab. All presented by Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster.
Ultimately, it was a good thing that the Barnstormers got the benefit of the balk because that run would not have scored as the sequence of events happened otherwise. Now we go to the bottom of the second inning, and here is Olmo Rosario at 3:44 with 4 runs batted in. The Barnstormers have taken advantage of a couple of mistakes by West Virginia to score their 2 runs tonight. They haven't come in any big blows. Ball is slightly up with his pitch to Rosario. 1-0 the count. 2 for 4 for Olmo last night as a train goes blasting through. 1-0 pitch. And that's just below the knees. For ball 2, it's 2-0. I don't know that those first 2 pitches have missed by more than 2 inches. Now a strike on the wider outside corner. We've described it all year. Vertically compressed, horizontally expanded. The strike zone that the automated system is programmed to pick up. Here's the 2-1. Rosario gets ball 3 upstairs. It is 3-1 to the leadoff batter here in the second inning for the Charleston Charlings. To Rosario, that is fouled, and the count goes to 3-2. That one rattling off Anderson De La Rosa. He's used to it back there. You got a 37-year-old catcher here and a almost 41-year-old batter with a 24-year-old pitcher. If I had time and inclination, I'd love to compare the average age of position players in the Atlantic League this year to the average age of pitchers. You'd find a huge gap. Ball 4 is up and in. Rosario picks up the leadoff walk. That is the second given up by Ball tonight. Reimer Liriano will come to the plate. Liriano at .298 with 8 homers and 32 runs batted in. We saw him as a pinch hitter last night. He struck out against Gabriel Moya in the 8th inning, but so did everybody. Moya's first pitch was clobbered to left center field by Jimmy Paredes for the game-deciding double. And after that, Moya became Moya. Again, it's for relievers this day and age, it's about slots. And you get out of that comfort zone. Moya brought in the 7th inning instead of the 8th, and it's an entirely different animal. So Rosario is the base runner. He gets a throw from Ball just to check him over there. Leadoff man on in the lower half of the second inning. Barnstormers have scored 1 run in each inning, a wild pitch in the first, setting it up, and then an error and a balk, allowing the run to score in the second inning. Now Ball is inside on Liriano for a 1-0 count. I mean, Nile is not all over the place here by any stretch of the imagination. But just a little bit up or a little bit down. That one a little bit inside. That one even more inside. And he drops behind Liriano at 2-0. Connor Kopach, the shortstop, freshly out of the Seattle organization, waits on deck. 2-0. Alleman cheating toward the middle. Very close to the middle, in fact. Throw to first base. Rosario back in standing, but he didn't have that much breathing room. 2 balls, no strikes. The count on Liriano, it looks like the Computer that runs the scoreboard has been rebooted and is working. 3-0 now from Ball to Liriano. All three running off the inside corner. We had a high-scoring contest, 11-10 last night. The last game we had played at West Virginia, the Barnstormers won 4-1. And now Ball is just outside, and he has walked his second in a row. Trouble brews in the bottom of the second, first and second with nobody out. And the shortstop, Connor, I guess they're calling him Kopech here, steps in. He is 4 for 29 with a homer and 4 runs batted in. He drove in what was ultimately the winning run last night with a sacrifice fly to center field. Could be looking at a bunt here. Schumpert comes in to play it. Ball misses badly outside here, and it's 1-0. And we're going to see Ross Peoples make a visit to the mound before much longer. 1 ball, no strikes with Rosario at second and Liriano at first. Nobody out here in the second inning. Ball has walked 3 so far in the ball game. Pitch, line drive over Schumpert and out the left field for a base hit. Rosario will score. Liriano is coming. He will score. And into second with a 2-run double is Kopech. And it is tied at 2 here in the bottom of the second inning. So no Houdini act for Niall Ball in the second inning tonight. His first hit accounts for a couple of runs. Jovan Gonzalez will come to the plate. The catcher hitting .268 with 3 homers and 22 runs batted in. This West Virginia team does not look at all like the team that we saw here in late July. The Barnstormers came in here and took no prisoners. But this lineup is stacked again, as it had been earlier in the year, and they can score a lot of runs. First pitch delivered for a strike to Gonzalez. It is 0-1. .268 for Jovan Gonzalez on the campaign. 2-2. Barnstormers with 3 singles on the night. The first West Virginia hit, good for 2 bases. Ball got himself into trouble with the walks. And now a strike to the outside corner on Gonzalez. It is 0-2. Jovan Gonzalez so good at hitting to right field. On deck is Connor Myers, who in certain regards was the hero of last night's game, and I'll explain that again momentarily. And I'm not the only person who felt that way. 0-2 to Gonzalez. A look at Kopech, the pitch. Foul to the right. Still 0-2. Myers busted his tail on a potential inning-ending double play ground ball in the 5th. He beat it out on the relay throw from Rondon. And that set up the 3-run inning, and it was the play that turned the tide of the evening. 0-2 on Jovan Gonzalez here. Ball ready to go. The pitch. Check swing as the slider breaks off the outside corner. Ball 1 and 2 strikes. To succeed with the way this strike zone has been set up and the extra foot of distance, you've just got to be able to pick at the widened corners. You've got to be able to find how to hit those edges. You can't work up and down so easily. 1-2 pitch, cracked to the right, and again, going foul. Gonzalez continues to bat at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kopech, the runner at second base with nobody out in the second inning. 2 runs already home for West Virginia. And now you've got to avoid that crooked number that's 3 or larger. That is the objective at this point. Gonzalez fighting ball. Here's the 1-2, and this is lifted to center field. Tracking it is Torrance. He sets up behind it, makes the catch, and Kopech is not going to tag and move ahead. He will stick around at second base. 1 out in the inning, and the center fielder Myers comes to the plate hitting .288, 2 homers, 13 driven in. But Myers is scoring a lot of runs for this ball club. He has come across the plate 18 times in the month of August. 10 runs over his last 7 games. Once last night, he scored after he beat out that double play throw that I just discussed. 1 out, runner at second. And ball to Myers. First pitch fastball is there. Strike 1 is taken. Teodoro Martinez, the left fielder, waits on deck. Barnstormers 2, West Virginia 2, bottom of inning 2. And if you thought we were going to get out of here quickly tonight, well, not at this pace. Breaking ball and a good one, swing and a miss. 0-2 on Myers. Last night, we were in reasonable shape through about 4.5 innings, despite all the kerfuffle with the umpiring crew. I love that word. I'll use it from time to time. You know that. The brouhaha. Here's the 0-2. Chopper toward third. Charging in is Schumpert. They'll force the runner back to second. The throw across gets Myers. 2 away. Kopech still is at second base. And Teodoro Martinez comes to the plate and, as always, kicking his bat on his way there. It's an interesting routine. I've not seen that one before. Martinez looked at strike 3, leading off the ball game for Charleston tonight. 2-2 in the bottom of inning 2. Last night ultimately took 3 hours, 55 minutes. Once the first pitch of the game was thrown, we ended at 11:09. There was a delay before the game got started last night, and it was about the umpiring setup. Ball 1 outside and low 1-0. It had been requested that that one particular gentleman not work a West Virginia Power or Charleston Charlie's game again after an incident a little while ago. Called strike. It's 1-1, and somehow it slipped through the cracks. He got assigned to the game last night. And that will happen, and that will be honored in this league. If you're having a real problem with an umpire, and it's not about a call at first base or anything like that, it's a real personality clash where bias comes into question, then you can request that somebody not work one of those games, or if there's an incident between an umpire and the fans or anything like that. And it's typically honored. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Teodoro Martinez. He keeps the bat in check. Ball 2 is outside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. Barnstormers will have the top of the order up when they step in the 3rd inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Kopech leads off second. Martinez doesn't chase. The ball is in the dirt. Throw to third, and Kopech will beat that there. Barnstormers asked for help on the appeal. They didn't get it. Kopech moves ahead of base on the pitch in the dirt, and now Martinez is batting at 3-2. And Ball says he's going to pitch out of the full windup. Well, we've gotten the message. This is truly bizarre, but it's happened to Sabatino last night and to Sakula tonight. 3-2. Here is the windup and the pitch. Ball 4 is inside. Martinez will draw the walk. Now, do you have to say you're going to pitch from the stretch? Nile still can't free himself from this 2nd inning. The base on balls has been the problem. Ross is out to pay a visit. He had Martinez up against the ropes and lost him on the base on balls. Callaspo, the switch hitting 3rd baseman, stands in. Big career in the American League primarily. Angels and Royals for Kayaspo. First and third. Atkin will go break up the conversation at the mound. He was in the major leagues from 2006 to 2015. Started with Arizona, then went to Kansas City, the Angels, Oakland, Atlanta, and he finished up with the Dodgers back in 15. He's been in 1,093 major league games. 265 career batting average. Right now looking to put his club in the lead. Connor Kopak, the runner at third base. Teodoro Martinez at first. And the offering is a strike to the outside corner on Kayaspo. It is 0-1. C-A-double-L A-S-P-O. Of course, in the Spanish language, double L is pronounced similar to a Y, and in some dialects, maybe closer to a J. You may have heard that as well. Inside, and ball one, strike one. Depending on the country of origin, it can go anywhere from Kayaspo to Kajaspo. It's kind of a softer J. 1-1. Ball will deliver, and that is wrapped on the ground to the second baseman, picked up by Allemond, and it will end the inning. But what Charleston has tied the game here with 2 runs on 1 hit, 3 walks, no errors, 2 runners left on base. At the end of 2, the Barnstormers and the Charlies are tied at 2 each.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
This is the sound of someone getting the most out of a summer day. So is this. Because for some, summer days were made for adventure. At the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, you'll find great deals on our entire line of leading-edge hybrids, each with the power and range to help you get the most out of your summer. But hurry, the sale ends September 7th. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
We're tied at 2 going into the 3rd inning, and for the Barnstormers, it will be the top of the lineup. Gindel, Allemond, and De Aza will come to the plate. Barnstormers head home after tomorrow. The day will be off on Monday. And then the Lexington Legends will be in for 3 starting on Tuesday night. This Charleston Ball Club will follow 3 games next weekend. The Barnstormers will be off for 7 after another off day, Tuesday through Labor Day Monday. A road trip destined for Southern Maryland and Long Island. 4-day weekend series over the Labor Day holiday between the Barnstormers and the Ducks. By then, they should be dried out because Central Islip, that entire area, is going to get very, very wet tomorrow with what is now Hurricane Henri scheduled to douse pretty much all of Long Island and much of New England over the next 2 or 3 days. It's supposed to be down to a tropical storm or a very minimal hurricane by landfall. To Gindel, first pitch strike as he was trying to gauge Sakula. It is 0-1. 2-2 here in the 3rd inning. Sakula comes back, the pitch. Gindel watches that outside, and the count levels at 1 each. And again, here we are just starting the 3rd inning. The ball game started 52 minutes ago. Here's a 1-1. Outside and low to Gindel. 2 balls, 1 strike to Caleb. He singled and scored back in the first inning. Defense set straight up against Caleb. The third baseman, Kayaspo, up at the edge of the grass. Caleb looks at ball 3 off the outside corner, 3-1, as Gindel tries to get the Barnstormers offense reignited. 5'10" right-hander Sakula into the line, and the pitch. Gindel with a foul ball back. 3-2. And that will send a pitching coach, I believe that's Paul Menhart, with the jacket on, out to collect that foul tip. Bat boy MIA. Full count on the way to Gindel. Here's a 3-2. Caleb pops it up to short left. Jogging in is Martinez. He has a wait for this one. Gindel is retired. 1 out in the third inning. Blake Alleman will step in. We'll see if the Barnstormers can get more of an offense going here. When they get off to fast starts, they stall in the middle of the game. We saw that last night. Now you build an 8-0 lead. You're supposed to win the game. That is understandable. The offense could feel it's done enough for the night. Fouled away. It is 0-1. But in the Atlantic League of 2021, it certainly should be obvious by now that no lead is ever safe. 0-1. Alleman looks at it off the outside corner. And we get to a 1-ball, 1-strike count. De Aza waits on deck. Lancaster and Charleston tied at 2 here in the third inning. The kick by Sakula, the pitch, line to right center field. Alleman aboard with a base hit. 1 out here in the third inning. Very solid season for Alleman. Now De Aza will step in. He grounded out. 1 hop to the shortstop, Kopech, back in the first inning. And I mentioned this before. Had it not been for a wild pitch, when Alleman was batting, Gindel would have still been at first, and De Aza's ground ball would have been a double play. The Barnstormers would not have scored. That's how the little mistakes tend to pile up over the course of a game. This year, harder than ever to cover those little itty-bitty errors. To De Aza, a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. Barnstormers with 4 hits tonight, all singles against Sakula. 0-1 to Alejandro. Alleman out to a short lead, not going anywhere. De Aza swings and misses. Sakula has him at 0-2. Alleman 5 stolen bases for the year. Doesn't seem inclined to go here at all. And the Toast Man really starting to rev up the crowd. He's got a big crowd to work with tonight, too. If they ever give him a microphone, it's all over. No balls, 2 strikes. Sakula working out of the stretch. He brings it home. Tattooed by De Aza, but foul. Still a 2-strike count on Alejandro. The smell of toast permeating the area behind home plate. I have it the entire game. Talked about him last night, a gentleman who moved here from the Pittsburgh area decades ago. He'd never been to a minor league game. A friend brought him. Not too long into his time coming to Wheeler's games, the Your Toast chant started, and then he actually was encouraged to plug in a toaster. And he's been doing it ever since. I guess it's been around 1992 or so. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Alejandro De Aza. With 1 out, 1 on. Kelly Dugan was familiar with it from his days in the South Atlantic League coming in here. He was with Lakewood, or as it is now, Jersey Shore. 1-2. De Aza waits, requests time, and gets it. Top of the third and a 2-2 tie. Sakula has been walk-free. He's given up the 4 singles. 1 of the 2 runs is unearned. Ball has had control issues. He's walked 4, given up the 1 hit. It was a 2-run double. Ground ball, second base. This could be 2. Rosario will go to Kopech for 1. On to Espinal. The double play is turned. 4-6-3. And the Barnstormers are unable to get on track in the third inning. No runs on a hit with no errors and nobody left. We're headed to the bottom of the third tonight. The Barnstormers and the Charlies remain tied at 2-all.
We are finally back enjoying Barnstormers baseball. I'm Adam Gocknauer from Gocknauer Appliances and thrilled to be sponsoring Barnstormers baseball yet again. We also wanted to thank all of you for your incredible support for our business during the pandemic. We are so happy to still be here helping you with the best brand names and the best prices of major appliances in the area. Enjoy the game, and we will continue to service you now and into the future. Gocknauer Appliances in East Petersburg and on the web at gocknauers.com.
New to Clipper Magazine Stadium in 2021 is Otto's Hospitality. Otto's is totally committed to the fan experience, from quality to convenience to safety. And they are committed to Lancaster, using local food purveyors whenever possible. New menu items like homemade Brauhaus pretzels, Black Angus burgers, and Otto's meatballs are sure to make any Barnstormers game even more fun. Use self-ordering kiosks or your phone instead of waiting in the lines. That's Otto's Hospitality.
Niall Ball will be facing the heart of the order, Paredes, Espinal, and Rosario, as we head to the bottom of the third inning in this 2-2 tie. Barnstormers scoring 1 run on a single by Kelly Dugan and the other on a balk. Kopech with a 2-run double on the Charleston side. Again, 2 games out of 3, they are the West Virginia Power. The other game, they're the Charleston Charlies. And tonight is the latter, is denoted by the yellow, blue, and black jerseys. This was from the Astros era in Charleston. They were affiliated with some different teams during the Charlies era. It started with the Pirates, ended with the Indians. In between, Houston and Texas were in here. And there was actually a franchise shift. I mentioned that the Charleston Charlies began in 1971 when the Columbus Jets moved out of a stadium that had gotten too old and was in a bad neighborhood in the Ohio State capital, and they moved here for, I believe it was the 71 season, might have been the 72 season. Then Cooper Stadium was built in Columbus, a brand new facility, which was state-of-the-art at the time. That's since been replaced. Paredes blasts one down the right field line. Back that goes, and a foul ball. It is 1-1 on Paredes. And the lineup tonight is the DH. So anyway, when they built Cooper Stadium, the Charlies moved back to Columbus, but they kept the Charlies name here as the team from Hampton Roads, the Peninsula Whips or whatever they were, moved back into Charleston, and I think they had Montreal initially. Pop to the shortstop, easy catch for Rondon, one away. Bit of minor league history. I'm trying to piece this together from growing up following the International League. But the Pirates went back into Columbus with that affiliation, and eventually the Yankees ended up for a long time with the Clippers. And now Cleveland is in there. 1 out. Espinal, the batter, he grounded out to first base, first time up. Dugan handling a very high bounce. No balls and a strike. Lancaster in first place by a game in the North. West Virginia trailing 2 different clubs by 2 in the Southern Division. Way outside, ball had that one slip. And then it came back off that concrete below the padding behind home plate, all the way back out, went through the legs of Pat Atkin and got under the feet of Edwin Espinal. That ball's still loose. it won't cooperate with anybody, so they're just going to toss it out of here. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Here's the wind, ball's pitch, and that is hammered foul down the left side. A 1 for each batter in this bottom of the 3rd inning. Paredes down the right field line, Espinal down the left field line. This one was settled right from the get-go that it was a foul ball. Paredes was not. Ball works at 1-2. Here's the pitch, and it gets a half swing and a foul ball straight back. In these previous 3 starts, Nile has been able to get a lot of ground balls. That has not been the case here, and West Virginia able to fight him off and work out walks. There's a ground ball, but it's through for a 1-out single. He still hasn't been able to retire the first 2 batters of an inning, not the last start and not this start either. 1 out, runner on board, and Olmo Rosario will step in. Rosario with a walk his first trip. He scored a run. 2 starts ago, Nile worked 6 innings, gave up 4 hits and 3 runs, and he did have a 1-2-3 inning against Southern Maryland of the 5th inning of that ball game. Here's a pitch to Olmo. That's off the outside corner for ball 1, 1-0. 2-2 our score in the bottom half of the 3rd inning tonight. Barnstormers set the infield double play depth with Espinal and Rosario. If ball can get a ground ball, they'll have time, but now Nile trails Rosario at 2-0. Tonight, the walks are being an issue. Reimer Liriano, the right fielder, the man on deck. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and this is sent to deep center field. Retreating is Torrance. He will square up to make the catch, and Espinal, playing halfway, heads back to first. Reimer Liriano stepping in. He, like Rosario, walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Liriano digging in. Gastonia won the first end of a day-night doubleheader at York today. The Honey Hunters toppling the Revs 7-6, and Gastonia leads the nightcap 1-0 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. York has hit the skids. Lexington 7-4 over High Point at the end of 4, trying to end the Rockers' winning streak. 3-2 Long Island over Southern Maryland through 5 innings at Regency Furniture Stadium. Ball inside, and it's 1-0 on Liriano. Here we are in the lower half of the 3rd with 2 outs and a runner at first base in a tie game. Connor Kopech, the shortstop who doubled home the 2 runs last inning, waits on deck. Now a drive down the right field line by Liriano. That is headed for the corner. Gindel has a long way to go. Espinal is going to chug to 3rd and hold there. Liriano with a double down the right field line, and Kopech again with a chance to drive in 2. Runners are at 2nd and 3rd with 2 men gone. Most would have been able to score with 2 outs on that drive into the right field corner, but not Espinal. Well, the Barnstormers catch a little bit of a break in that scenario, but ball is again in danger. Kopech will step in. He doubled over the head of Schumpert and down into the left field corner back in the 2nd inning. Jovan Gonzalez, the catcher, waits on deck. 2-2, bottom 3, and Ball needs to work himself out of a tricky situation here. He'll go to work, and Kopech swings and misses. Down a strike, it is 0-1. Gastonia now 11-5 in the 2nd half. They're in first with that win earlier today. Half game over High Point. Fouled at the plate. Very quickly, Kopech trails 0-2. Ball needs this out. Get the Barnstormers back up in the 4th inning. No balls and 2 strikes to the shortstop Kopech, who has faced Barnstormers pitching twice now and has 1 tying and 1 go-ahead RBI. He was in the Seattle organization and played at Double-A Arkansas earlier this year. Swinging a foul ball, ricocheting back, and he will stay alive at 0-2. The only strikeout for Niall Ball tonight, the first man he faced, Martinez looking, leading off the game. Kopech hit 150 for Arkansas with 4 homers and 9 runs batted in. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball pulled to third. Schumpert will charge, dig it out, throw to first. And that play gets Ball out of the third inning. West Virginia or Charleston fails to score. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. They leave 2 in scoring position. We'll go to the 4th inning of baseball tonight. The Barnstormers and the Charleston Charlies are tied at 2 each.
Like craft beers? Then the best place to be in Lancaster is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, celebrate baseball or just a night with your friends at the Broken Bat Deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat features more than 20 local craft breweries, plus product from a local winery. Food including Otto's Meatballs is sold off a pub-style menu. So get together, hang out with your friends, or make some new ones. Enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
This is the sound of the kind of thrill ride summer was made for. Here's the sound of another one. At the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, you'll find great deals on our entire line of performance vehicles, including the RCF, LC, and IS. Strap in and then hold on tight. But hurry, the sale ends September 7th. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Well, usually they have pancakes racing here in Charleston. Tonight it appeared to be, it looked like maybe a hot dog, mustard, and relish or something like that. Well, Miles Williams, playfully, you may have seen that on camera. I'm not sure if it was within the frame of the shot. Miles Williams charging out and tackling the pickle or relish or whatever it was. This West Virginia team seems to be having a lot of fun. I think they've got the right mix of personnel in here now. As they do every night, they honor the Toast Man on the video board here, Joe. It's a different atmosphere here in Charleston, but I have to admit it's become a little bit infectious. I like it here. This is one of my favorite places to come on the road in this league, and it's great to see the crowd that they have at Appalachian Power Park tonight. This franchise is ultimately going to be a great addition to the Atlantic League, and I think it already is. Kelly Dugan leads off here in the 4th inning. Dugan with an RBI base hit his first time up. The motion, Sakula's pitch. Dugan swings and misses. It's 0-1. Kelly has been unbelievable lately with runners in scoring position. Here he's leading off an inning. Sakula's 0-1 delivery is popped up on the left side. Tricky time of night. They're tracking it down along the line. Martinez coming in, and he'll make the catch just inside fair territory in very shallow left field. 1 out. Trayvon Robinson will step in. Robinson again victimized by a called third strike right on a corner in the first inning where he thought he had a walk. And we've seen it happen over and over and over again to Robinson. 1 out. The Barnstormers scored a run in the first inning, got 1 more on a balk in the second. And now Sakula has retired 6 of the last 7 batters, facing the minimum of 7. To Robinson, a strike on the outer edge. It is 0-1. And it's almost unfair what is happening to Trayvon. Well, he has been struggling here the last several weeks. 0-1. Time is called. It's like they always say, a dog can sense fear. Well, pitchers can sense that a hitter's in the slump and maybe a little bit uncomfortable at the plate. And they'll make their best pitches. 0-1. And to Robinson, swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Sakula has him at 0-2. Eric Sakula has thrown 7 quality starts this year, and he's got to be near the league lead in a statistic that's not officially kept. The 0-2, breaking ball is low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I would imagine he and Darrell Thompson are fighting for the top spot there. Thompson probably ahead of him. I can't imagine too many others. Maybe Iorio would be in the mix. Possibly Cooper Cassad. Robinson takes ball 2 off the plate to the outside. Now a 2-2 count. Coming into the inning, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Barnstormers, 1 left. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 5 left on base by the Charlies. Robinson awaits the 2-2, the motion and the pitch. Trayvon swings and drives it to center. Scooting back, but having it measured all the way is Myers for out number 2. Sakula continues to have control. And now Devon Torrance steps in. Torrance singled and scored back in the 2nd inning. His speed coming into play. They never did post an error for Charleston in this game, but it should be up there. To Torrance in the dirt for a ball and a 1-0 count. On the official log, it is. And charged to Olmo Rosario, which is as it should have been. Not Olmo's fault. He's new to this ballpark and had not last night experienced how bad that sun can be straight up the middle. 2 balls and no strikes. You'll see center fielders here play off the plumb line just to get out of it. Strike to the outer edge, and Torrance now bats 2 balls and a strike against Eric Sakula. 2-2 are scored, top half of the 4th inning. Sakula and Ball battle. Torrance now takes it to the alley in left center field. That's down for a base hit. Myers racing over. Torrance trying to leg out a double. Here's the throw, the slide, and he gets in. He barely beat it. Devon Torrance legging out a double, only his 2nd extra base hit of the season. Myers played it well and threw a strike to Rosario covering. But Torrance able to beat the tag, and the Barnstormers have a runner in scoring position for Anderson De La Rosa. De La Rosa, a strikeout victim, back in the 2nd. Torrance had already scored before the dispensation of that at bat. Devon Torrance tonight, 2 for 2, the only Barnstormer to have been on base more than once against Sakula. He thought double all the way. And a De La Rosa inside and a ball. It is 1-0. Barnstormers looking to bring home the go-ahead run. De La Rosa, 38 runs batted in on the season. One ball, no strikes. Sakula to the set. He deals. Ground ball pulled foul past third. That could have challenged Callaspo had it been inside the line. 1 ball and 1 strike. De La Rosa for the season, batting .286 with runners in scoring position. The club as a whole, .305. 1 out of 3 tonight, so that's not going to change much. Sakula starts the motion, stops. Time called briefly. Torrance leads from second base. Nice set by Sakula, the 1-1, way out there. 2 balls and a strike. Nick Schumpert, the third baseman, due next. Barnstormers with 5 hits and finally 1 for extra bases. Sakula, though, has been walk-free. He'd been averaging fewer than 2 walks per 9 innings coming in. That's the ticket. Here's the 2-1 to De La Rosa as Torrance takes off. The throw to third is not in time. He steals his 12th. 3-1 to Anderson De La Rosa. Unusual to steal third base with 2 outs in an inning. Torrance, I think, was hoping to draw a bad throw. Schumpert in the on-deck circle. 2 outs in the inning. Torrance inches up the line from third. Here's the 3-1. De La Rosa lets it go, and strike 2 is called. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Anderson has struggled in this ballpark. Here's the payoff. Popped up foul coming out of play. We will hold at 3-2. On our last visit here, he was 0 for 9. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Anderson De La Rosa is gone on strikes. 4th strikeout for Sakula. The Barnstormers leave Torrance at third. No runs on a hit with no errors, and the 1 man left on base. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up. The Lancaster Barnstormers and the Charleston Charlies remain deadlocked at 2.
Hey, $2 bill here, AKA the rare one. Problem is, I'm so rare, people just saved me. But thanks to the new Cash Vibe with Quick Cash from the PA Lottery, I'm back in business. For just $2, you can get bigger jackpots starting at $150 grand. Plus Quick Cash, a chance to instantly win $2 or $6. Haha, it's good to be wanted.
Play Cash 5 with Quick Cash from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
Jovan Gonzalez, Connor Myers, and Teodoro Martinez will face Niall Ball as we get to the bottom half of the 4th inning here tonight. We'll wrap it up at 1:05 tomorrow afternoon. Tommy Shirley getting the nod for the Barnstormers against Alexis Candelario. Candelario has fared much better since coming over here from Gastonia. There have been some intra-league trades this year that have benefited certain players and certain clubs. That's one of them. Candelario has been much better since coming here. Miles Williams seems to be fitting in better here in Charleston. Miles not in the lineup tonight, but he had a key 2-run homer last night in the comeback. Now here is Gonzalez, who flied to center back in the 2nd inning. Lancaster and Charleston tied at 2, heading into this bottom half of the 4th inning. The Barnstormers aren't getting any walks to use as glue to innings. Sakula very stingy with those, and because of it, he's been successful tonight. The hits have also been quite well scattered. to Gonzalez. Little tapper up the first base line. And Myers goes out to pick it up. I haven't met Connor Myers. I've seen a couple of things, not just the hustle last night, but him catching first pitches, dealing with some of the fans. You kind of get impressed by him a little bit. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2, kind of guy you want in a franchise like this. But they have many. Fans everywhere fall in love with Olmo. Scott Kelly, great hustle. Jimmy Paredes, very personable guy. The 0-2. Fastball is outside. We've seen some hijinks out of Miles Williams. That was actually a called third strike. Good golly. Ball went to throw it around the diamond, and Shumpert wasn't even looking for it. De La Rosa was caught off guard. And I think he and Gonzalez are chuckling about it a little bit. 1 out, nobody on, and Connor Myers steps in. De La Rosa just threw the ball back to the mound, and then it was called a third strike. Ball started to throw it around the diamond, and Shumpert reacted like, what are you doing? Oh, that was strike 3? Fouled off now by Myers. It's 0-1. That caught everybody off guard, especially Yovan Gonzalez. 1 out here in the 4th. Ball brings it home. There's a bunt up the third base line. It hugs the chalk for a while and then goes foul. Good idea by Myers. He would have had a base hit had that stayed fair. 0-2. Nile picking up his second strikeout of the night on a pitch where nobody expected it. And then all of a sudden the right arm came up. I'm jotting the pitch tally down in my book. I look up and I see Nile getting the ball back and starting to throw to third. Shumpert was like, what are you doing? So the Barnstormers didn't exactly peg that all the way around the diamond. 0-2 is chased by Myers, and there is strikeout number 3, and this one everybody knew. 2 are out, and here comes Teodoro kicking the bat all the way to the plate, Martinez. Well, all the way to back behind home plate. What an interesting ritual he has. I had never noticed it when he was at Southern Maryland, but here he's right in front of me. The folks in Charleston are really beginning to get into this team. Great atmosphere in the ballpark tonight. The seats are fairly well full, especially on the first base side. That's where the main entry to the stadium is. Ball 1 is a little bit tight on Martinez. It's 1-0. A little bit sparser, but the biggest crowd we've seen in here in our 5 visits. 1-0. Fastball for a strike, 1-1. I was talking with Scott Kelly today. Scott loves it here. And I said, well, you've got a great man in charge in Chuck Domino, longtime GM of the Reading Phillies. I've known Chuck from my days in the Eastern League, and he did a magnificent job running Reading. And everything will go well here in Charleston. Lexington's drawing well. And that market is great for the league. Yeah, the travel is a lot. Going 3 hours beyond this bus trip to Charleston. That franchise has so much potential. And that ballpark has so much potential. But to me, it just needs a little bit of an update there. 2-1. And that's not needed here. Ball 3 is outside and low, 3 balls and a strike. What they needed to do here, and it's beginning to happen, is to rebuild the market. Apparently, just from the little bit I've heard, the market here got kind of burned out. Time called. 3-1 is due to Martinez. He has struck out and walked. And if people aren't careful, that can happen. 3 balls, 1 strike. Popped up. Might be playable. Dugan charging over toward the first base dugout, looking up. It's a couple rows back. And Teodoro Martinez has a count of 3-2. 2-2 our score, bottom of the 4th inning. It certainly happened to some of these communities in the Atlantic League. I remember when the Camden River Sharks were quite a hot commodity. First time I ever went there was actually before the Barnstormers got started. I took my family there. We met up with John Danos and his family for a late season game between Camden and Atlantic City. And Campbell's Field was hopping. It was a great afternoon of baseball. 3-2, ball to the plate, smash to the right side, scooped up nicely by Dugan. He'll take it himself. Martinez retired 3 unassisted, nothing across in the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll go to the 5th. The Barnstormers and the Charlies remain tied at 2-2.
When everyone has a different craving, Wegmans Meals to Go has it all. All right now, all in one delivery. Pizza with the kids' favorite toppings, a delicious sub made the way you love, fresh sushi for the whole group, and so much more. It's how busy people get busy eating the meals they love. Order on the Meals to Go app or at mealstogo.com to make everyone happy. Wegmans Meals to Go. All your favorite meals, all in one delivery.
Like craft beers? Then the best place to be in Lancaster is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, celebrate baseball or just a night with your friends at the Broken Bat Deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat features more than 20 local craft breweries, plus product from a local winery. Food including Otto's Meatballs is sold off a pub-style menu. So get together, hang out with your friends, or make some new ones. Enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
Barnstormers will be home for 6 games starting on Tuesday. We'll see Lexington and Charleston both for the second and final time here in the 2021 season. Of course, you could always run into one or the other in a championship series. That would be a nice thought. Now, the Barnstormers have to stay ahead of Southern Maryland in the second half primarily for that to happen. Can't rule York out because it's still so early, but the Revs are just not off to a very good start here in the second half. And that's unusual for York. Second half rolls around and York suddenly springs into action. It's happened many, many years. Here we're tied at 2, and Nick Schumpert prepares to open up the 5th inning for the Barnstormers. Schumpert fouled out to the first baseman Espinal his first time up. Barnstormers 2, Charleston 2, and Gonzalez needs an equipment fix. Or switch. Catchers have multiple gloves in case something goes wrong with one of them. Back out is Jovan with a new mitt. Schumpert, Rondon, and Gindel, the scheduled 5th inning hitters against Eric Sakula. Time we check in on the pitch counts for tonight's 2 starters. Schumpert goes after the first pitch and lobs a pop fly out to left field. Would have been a pretty good spot, but was hit so high. Martinez able to gallop over and make the catch. 3rd inning in a row, the Barnstormers' leadoff hitter has flied out the left. 1 down, Clea Luis Rondon will step in. He has flied to center in his one plate appearance. 79 pitches for ball through the first 4 innings and 67 for Sakula. 1 out, Rondon the batter. Fly to center was hit pretty well back in the 2nd inning. The only time in this series that Clea Luis has been retired. 5 hits off of Sakula. He has not walked a batter. He has struck out 4. Rendon shows bunt and takes a strike. It is 0-1. He almost had to take one there with Schumpert being retired on the first pitch he saw. Trying to jump on Sakula and get something started right away. He can't wait out walks. He doesn't give up many. Here's the 0-1, and Rendon takes a pitch in the dirt. It's a ball and a strike. Sakula has missed now with 29 pitches tonight out of the 69 he's thrown. Ball is missed with 32 out of 79. So almost the same pace. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2, but Nile has given up 4 walks and Sakula none. Go figure those numbers. Clea Luis Rendon stands in at 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the toast man gets ready with that cooked bread one more time. And the 1-2 pitch, beaten foul. Rendon stays in there with 1 out, nobody on, top half of the 5th inning in this 2-2 contest. Nile Ball finally putting together a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 4th, the first one he has thrown after 11 consecutive innings of allowing at least 1 runner. 1-2, Rendon swings and misses. So that is 5 tonight for Sakula. Caleb Gindel will see him a 3rd time. Gindel has singled to right center and flied out the left. Devon Torrance is the only Barnstormer that really seems to have Sakula figured out. He is 2 for 2 with a couple of clean line drive base hits. And to Gindel, fouled away. He's down a strike. It is 0-1. Dugan hit the ball hard the first time up. Gindel kind of a floater into right center for his leadoff single. Alamond a solid single in the 3rd inning. The outs haven't been hit terribly hard tonight, except for possibly that 1 fly ball by Rendon. 1-1 here to Caleb. He tore this place up the first time we were here. Not so much this weekend. He hits another pop-up on the left side. Back goes the 3rd baseman. Kayaspo overcomes Kopak, and it's Kopak who makes the catch in foul ground. And the Barnstormers are dispatched on 9 pitches in the top of the 5th. Nothing across for Lancaster, and
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Barnstormers and Charlies in quite a battle tonight. Bottom of the 5th inning, and Kayaspo, Paredes, and Espinal will be stepping in against Nile Ball, who's been able to, for the most part, throw a strong game against a very, very tough lineup. Walks were an issue early. He walked 4 of the first 10 batters of the night. He seems to have gotten rid of the problem since then. It cost him a couple of runs back in the 2nd inning. Now here is Kayaspo, who has walked and grounded out to Alamund. 2 each. Starting off the home half of the 5th inning. Ball's delivery is a strike at the knees. Kayaspo trailing at 0-1. 5 hits to 3. 2 doubles for Charleston, 1 for the Barnstormers. Hard hit ground ball. Dugan can't get it. And Kayaspo is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 5th inning. Go ahead run, reaches base for Charleston, and Jimmy Paredes will come to the plate. Paredes is fouled out down the right field line and popped the short after cracking one out of here foul back in the 3rd inning. Kayaspo without a stolen base attempt on the year. Now, the Barnstormers don't have to worry about too many of the Charlie's base runners. Myers can steal and Martinez can. They don't have many others. I guess you have to keep an eye on Kopak. He has 1 and he's relatively new. The Barnstormers a little more depth in the running game. Now to Paredes. That is jacked again down the right field line and again hooking foul. That one in the direction of the party deck out there. And that's full on an almost nightly basis. 0-1 to Jimmy Paredes. It is great to see this crowd here tonight. A Saturday night in Lancaster, you expect it. Long Island, you expect it. York, you expect it. But to see it here in Charleston really warms my heart. Strike to the outside corner. It is 0-2. Barnstormers and Ball would love to get a ground ball double play here. They turned 3 behind Nile last Friday night at Long Island. Toss to first base, and a tag applied to the foot of Kayaspo, diving back in. Foot or lower leg, perhaps. No balls, 2 strikes to Paredes. 4 hits now for Charleston after that Kayaspo single. Here's the 0-2, and that misses everything. Kicks back out to De La Rosa, who's got to throw to second base, but he didn't get enough on it. And Kayaspo advances on the wild pitch. De La Rosa had a chance as that ball hit the concrete and came right back to Anderson, but he had to release it quickly. He knew it, and he bounced it to the shortstop side of second base as Kayaspo arrives safely. And he is now in scoring position. Paredes batting at 1 ball and 2 strikes after the wild pitch. Absolutely nothing De La Rosa could do to save that one. 1-2 on Paredes, high and outside, and now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. West Virginia in position to grab the lead here in the bottom of the 5th, and the Barnstormers bullpen will spring into action. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Paredes. Ball comes to the plate, and that is badly outside. We go to 3-2. He had thrown 2 great pitches to Paredes. Well, one a foul ball, hit pretty well. The other one, a beautiful breaking ball on the outside corner. And since then, 3 pitches have all missed by a lot. First base open, but you don't want to start piling up the runners. Espinal waits on deck to Paredes 3-2. Bounce foul, and boy, that was a heck of a stop in the corner of the dugout. One of the Charleston coaches making that play. And getting a hug from his coaching mate. Paul Menhart and Ken Joyce down there having some fun. 3-2 to Paredes. Dugan well behind the bag over at first. Here's the payoff, and it's fouled. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Charleston trying to take its first lead of the ball game. This series has been tightly contested. A 1-run game last night. The Barnstormers have been winning the lion's share of those, but last night they couldn't make that key play in the late innings. It's Garrett Granitz tuning up in the Barnstormers bullpen. 3-2. Paredes swings away, hits a ground ball toward the middle. Backhanded pickup made by Alleman. Time to set for the throw. He gets Paredes, but Callaspo takes that go-ahead run to third with one out, and Edwin Espinal will come to the plate. There is the difference the wild pitch makes. That is a very possible double play. If the runner is still at first. Instead, Callaspo has advanced to third. We saw the same thing in the Barnstormers half of the first, and Lancaster was able to pick up the run. One out, runner at third. Espinal trying to pick up Callaspo and make it 3-2. First pitch outside and low. Ball one, no strikes. Barnstormers' arms will get ready in the outfield in the event of a fly ball. Ross Peoples is keeping his infield back here. To Espinal, 1-0 pitch, swing, and at best a foul tip. 1 ball and 1 strike. De La Rosa still looking for the ball, finds it, and chucks it over to Rosario in the on-deck circle. New supply of baseballs being brought out, carried via a helmet. 1 ball, 1 strike. To the first baseman, Edwin Espinal. Granite's continuing to loosen up in the Barnstormers bullpen. Ball is into the 90s on his pitch count. Here's a 1-1, and that is chopped to third. With it is Schumpert. Clean throw home, and tagged out is Callaspo. He is out 5-2. Espinal safe on the fielder's choice. Nick Schumpert, very solid defensively tonight. He's made a couple of decent plays, including that one. Callaspo was coming on contact, and he was out by plenty. Olmo Rosario is in. 0 for 1 for Olmo tonight. West Virginia now with that lead run all the way back to first base and carried by Espinal. And as we saw back in the third inning, it can take a lot to get Espinal around. 2 outs, man at first. Ball will deal. That slider, a good one, swung on and missed. 0-1. Barnstormers and Charlie's tied at 2. Charleston has had the better opportunities to score since the tie was forged. The Barnstormers have done very little against Sakula over the last 3 innings. Lined out the right field and falling in front of Gindel. That is a base hit. Rosario is on. He's been tough in this series. 3 hits and a couple of walks. Now Reimer Liriano steps in. He has walked and doubled into the right field corner. Ross Peoples is coming out. He hasn't signaled to the bullpen yet. He has visits left. This would be his second of the game. Liriano, the batter. Kopak is on deck. Liriano took Nile into the right field corner back in the 3rd inning. And Espinal could only make it to 3rd. He's at 2nd, and Rosario behind him at first base here in the 5th inning. 5 hits now for the Charlies. They're discussing how to pitch Liriano. And checking in on Ball as well. He will be left in the game. The Barnstormers use up their 2nd timeout of the night. Here is Liriano, and it's one of those tipping points in a ball game. 2-2 with 2 outs, 2 on in the bottom of the 5th inning. The out at the plate certainly helping the cause. Now to Liriano, slider outside and low for ball 1. and no strikes. Lancaster 2, Charleston 2, and Ball working to keep it there. Walking a double for Liriano here tonight. Ball to the plate. That twists outside for a 2-0 count. Connor Kopak waits on deck. Ball trying to wiggle out of trouble. He has been very good at it as a Barnstormer. To Liriano in on the hands and foul to the net for a 2-1 count. Lancaster scored in the first inning. Gindel led off with a base hit, took second on a wild pitch, and came home with a 2-out single from Kelly Dugan. Lancaster would score again in the top of the second inning. Devon Torrance led off with a single, stole second. Went to third as Olmo Rosario lost the throw from the catcher in the sun and scored on a balk outside, and having to reach is De La Rosa. So it is 3-1 on Reimer Liriano with Connor Kopak waiting on deck. The designated hitter is scheduled to bat second for the Barnstormers in the sixth inning. It's Alejandro De Aza. And you lose the DH if you make the pitching change here. 3-1, ball is inside to Liriano and loads the bases for Kopak. Fifth walk given up by Nile in his 4 2/3 innings. His next pitch will be his 100th. Kopak will come to the plate. Bases loaded and 2 outs. He drove in the 2 runs back in the second with a double yanked into the left field corner. Bases full and nowhere to go for Ball from here. 5 hits, 5 walks he's allowed. Can he bear down and get a very critical out in this bottom half of the 5th inning? Bases are full, Ball to the plate, and he is low. It's 1-0 on Kopak. Connor Kopach, a native of Illinois, went to SIU, the Salukis. He waits the 1-0 pitch, and this is hammered to right center field. Way back goes Gindel, and the walls will not contain it. Kopak with a grand slam, and Charleston has taken a 6-2 lead on the 9th grand slam given up by the Barnstormers this season. Even the play at the plate could not save the Barnstormers in the bottom of the 5th inning. As Ball, who has been amazing at getting out of jams all the way through, gives up the 2-out grand slam to Kopak here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Barnstormers are down by 4, and Ross Peoples heads out to pull Ball from the game. Garrett Granitz will be coming in. Oh, a negative turn of events here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nile Ball will depart, Granitz takes over, and we will be back in just a moment.
Bummer, the Barnstormers are on the road and you're looking for something to do. Clipper Magazine Stadium still has the answer for family fun. The summer movie series returns, presented by Lidl Supermarkets on selected nights throughout the summer season. Bring the kids out to the ballpark for family-friendly movies. For just $6.50 per person, you get to sit on the outfield grass and enjoy a film on the big screen in left center field. Showtime is 7 p.m. For more information and movie listings, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and click on the events page.
72 years and 4 generations and still going strong. We are Gockenauer Appliances in East Petersburg, and we want to be your appliance store now and into the future. We sell all the best brand names of appliances at the very best prices. We also deliver, install, and service what we sell. Shop local and with your 4-generation hometown appliance store. Come to Gockenauer Appliances and see what a great appliance purchase experience is all about. You can even shop from home now at Gockenauers.com. Thanks for your support.
Niall Ball was almost out of the fifth inning. He had it dialed back to 2 outs and a runner at first. And all of a sudden, a single from Olmo Rosario, the walk to Liriano, and Ross Peoples had been thinking about bringing in Granitz, but stayed with Ball. Kopak, the newcomer to the Atlantic League, with a 6 RBI night. He hits the grand slam, and it is 6-2 in favor of Charleston as Granitz takes over here in the bottom of the fifth inning with 2 outs and nobody on. And if the Barnstormers want Deaza to bat, they would have had to have made a double switch here. Jovan Gonzalez stands in against Granitz. He is 0 for 2. And the Barnstormers have to dig themselves out of a hole. Granitz to the plate, and a strike is delivered. It is 0-1. Ross Peoples in this series, in really 3 nights in a row, has not been able to flip the right switch with pitching if there has been a right switch to flip. Fouled back, it is 0-2. And very few ultimately have gotten the job done. And the pitching had been terrific, relatively speaking, for the previous 9 games. 0-2, and the pitch breaks outside to Gonzalez. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They are a hootin' and a hollerin' here in Charleston. 6-2 Charlies after the Barnstormers had the early 2-0 lead. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Granitz will bring it home, and that is ball 2 outside. 2-2. This half inning has taken quite some time. Ball, 6 hits, 6 runs in 4 2/3 innings. They were all earned. There's a bouncer toward the middle. Alleman will get behind it, spin and throw, and cut down Gonzalez to end the inning. Just to finish off the thought, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts for Niall here tonight. Granitz picks up the final out in the 5th inning, but it's 4 runs on 3 hits for the Charlies. No errors, nobody left on base. Through 5 now, Charleston is up by the score of 6-2.
Hey, $2 bill here, AKA the rare one. Problem is, I'm so rare, people just saved me. But thanks to the new Cash Vibe with Quick Cash from the PA Lottery, I'm back in business. For just $2, you can get bigger jackpots starting at $150 grand. Plus Quick Cash, a chance to instantly win $2 or $6. Haha, it's good to be wanted.
Play Cash 5 with Quick Cash from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
When everyone has a different craving, Wegmans Meals to Go has it all. All right now, all in one delivery. Pizza with the kids' favorite toppings. A delicious sub made the way you love. Fresh sushi for the whole group, and so much more. It's how busy people get busy eating the meals they love. Order on the Meals to Go app or at mealstogo.com to make everyone happy. Wegmans Meals to Go. All your favorite meals, all in one delivery.
Well, the Barnstormers have to make up a 4-run deficit following the grand slam by Connor Kopak in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Barnstormers have hit 7 slams this year, with number 7 coming off the bat of Blake Alleman last night. But now they have given up their 9th. The first hit by a West Virginia batter. 3 have been hit by Gastonia. 1 by Long Island, 1 by York, 2 by Lexington, and 1 by Southern Maryland. Now Kopak with the 6 RBI game. Ruby Silva drove in 7 for Southern Maryland back on the 1st of August. DJ Peterson has driven in 6. Roberto Baldequin has driven in 6. And now Kopak is added to the list. Blake Alleman trying to ignite the comeback. And if he gets on, we'll be seeing a bunt next, I think. There's a pitch to Alleman, swinging a ball, driven out toward right center field. Playing in that direction, though, is Liriano. He is there to make the catch for out number one. And we are going to see Garrett Granitz take his own turn at the plate. De Aza departs tonight at 0 for 2 on ground balls. And Granitz will step in. Now, the Barnstormers down by 4 after getting out to the 2-0 lead tonight and trying to find some way to flip the momentum. Granitz will take a pitch down low. It is ball 1 and no strikes. Garrett is 1 for 3 at the plate. Had an infield single not too long ago. Now gets ball 2 outside from Sakula, who hasn't walked anybody. 5 Barnstormers in a row have been retired. Granitz looks at a strike as that one faded back across the inside corner. And now it is 2-1. Charleston 6, Lancaster 2, 2-1 pitch. Granitz swings away and lobs a pop-up behind first base. Back to get it is Espinal. That's 2 outs. Kelly Dugan stepping in. Dugan 1 for 2. He singled in a run back in the first inning. The Barnstormers have gotten nowhere against Sakula, but this is Sakula. He has been pitching games like this the entire season. Experienced right-hander. He has a stake in this ball club. He's a full-time employee. A right-hand man for Mark Minikazi. The step and the pitch to Dugan. Breaking ball is good for a strike. It is 0-1, and the Barnstormers, just like it happened last night after the 8-0 lead, it looks like they're back on their heels. After the big inning for the opposition, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 6th. The Barnstormers down by 4. Here's the motion, Sakula to the plate, and Dugan sends a towering fly ball to center. Easy play for Connor Myers. And a 1-2-3 inning on just 8 pitches, 6 up, 6 down on just 17 tosses of the baseball over the last 2 innings. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It is 6-2 in favor of Charleston.
You can enjoy a night at the ballpark and help out the United Way of Lancaster County. All you have to do is spend 3 hours as an usher during a Barnstormers home game, and the ball club will donate $20 in your name to the United Way program of your choice. Be a friendly face, have fun, and raise money for your favorite local charity. To sign up, go to the LancasterBarnstormers.com website and head to the community link, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
This is the sound of someone looking out for the safety of a loved one.
Come here, honey. Let's get you buckled up.
And this is the sound of a Lexus looking out for someone else on the road. At the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, you'll find great deals on our full line of vehicles, each with our advanced standard safety technology. But hurry, the sale ends September 7th. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Pre-collision system with pedestrian detection is not a substitute for safe and attentive driving practices. See owner's manual for additional limitations and details.
Garrett Granitz remains in the game for the bottom of the 6th inning, 6-2 in favor of Charleston, as Myers, Martinez, and Callaspo will come to the plate. Barnstormers came in here on fire. They had won 7 out of 9. They got the 8-0 lead through the first 4 innings last night and appeared to be on their way to a 2-game lead in the Northern Division, with Southern Maryland getting beaten up badly by Long Island. And now, the Barnstormers, since that early 8-0 lead, have been outscored 17-4 here in Charleston, Connor Myers steps in to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Keep talking about the inability for this ball club to sustain momentum, to sustain a push. And very often, in order to do that, you've got to have the pitching in place. And the Barnstormers had looked better for a week and a half to 2 weeks, but still, this ball club struggles in the pitching department. Called strike on Myers, it is 0-1. If the pitching can once again lock in, this team can take off. Low and inside to Myers for a 1-1 count from Granite's. Garrett had a rough one against Long Island the other night. One and one. Granite's flips it in there high, and Myers bats 2 balls and a strike. So Garrett coming into tonight 1-0 with a 4.93 earned run average. 34 and 2/3 innings, 44 hits, 16 walks, 17 strikeouts. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ball 3 is outside, and a 3-1 count. Giving up, we've seen 16 grand slams this year. That typifies the season. I really need to take the time to go through the list and see in what other year we've even come close to this. Now a walk to Myers leading off here in the 6th inning. 6 walks given up by the Barnstormers staff tonight. Teodoro Martinez will step in after kicking his bat. 0 for 2 with a walk for Martinez in the game. The leadoff man is on in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Myers has 14 stolen bases. You could look for him to take off. Barnstormers will set the infield at double play depth. Kopak has been the difference. He's driven in all 6 Charleston runs. And in fact, their last 7, if you go back to the tie-breaking sac fly in the 8th inning last night. A strike on Martinez, it's 0-1. Kopak had started off here 1 for 20. And coming into tonight, he'd been 4 for 29. Throw to first, and that hits the runner, and Myers is stung by it. He'll get back up. That couldn't advance initially, and he's being given time to walk that off. A little bit of daylight, but Granite's hit the runner with the throw. And to some extent, the Barnstormers are fortunate not to have a runner in scoring position right now. Long Island leads Southern Maryland 6-3 in the top of the 9th. Granite's to the plate. High bouncer towards second base. Alleman's going to have to shovel to first. It's the only play. Myers gets to scoot ahead to second with 1 away. And Alberto Callaspo stepping in. He is 1 for 2. When he was thrown out at the plate by Shumpert in the 5th inning, it looked like Ball would get out of that inning unscathed, and then we'd be heading to the 6th and a 2-2 tie. Certainly didn't turn out that way. York has caught Gastonia. They're now in the 9th inning in game 2, 1-1. Gastonia won the opener 7-6. Lexington is beating High Point 7-6 through 7.5. And Long Island and Southern Maryland are in the top of the 9th with the Ducks leading by 3. To Callaspo, a strike. Back across the outside corner. 6 hits to 5, but the grand slam stands as the big blow. Granite's glancing back to Myers, who's trying to distract him. The pitch, trying to break to the inside corner and missed. Callaspo bats at 1-1 with Jimmy Paredes on deck. 1 out with a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Callaspo jumps back out of the way and gets ahead at 2 balls and a strike. Garrett comes to the set, the 2-1 pitch, knocked out of play down the left side. And we are at 2-2 now on Alberto Quiaspo. Lancaster in the middle game of this series. Tommy Shirley throws the getaway day game tomorrow. Charleston, which has suffered a couple of sweeps at the hands of the Barnstormers, trying to turn the trick here this weekend. Grounded to second. Alleman throws to first. That gets rid of Quiaspo, but Myers moves to third with 2 outs. Jimmy Paredes will try to pick up the extra run. He's 0 for 3. So, checking the Grand Slams. In our first season, 2005, there were 10 all year. In 2006, the Barnstormers hit 6, the opponents 4, total of 10 again. 9 in 2007, 7 in 2008, 8 in 2009. So you're getting my point here. Inside, and it's ball 1, and no strikes. We're just a little past through halfway of a regulation Atlantic League season, and there have been 16. In 2011, there were 9. In 2012, just 5. In 2013, 3. And they were all hit by Ryan Harvey in the span of about a week and a half. Fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike. In 2014, we saw 9. In 15, 8. In 16, 9. In 17, the Barnstormers hit 7, but there were 9 altogether. In 2018, 4. And in 2019, 5. That is insane. When you stop to think about those Grand Slam totals. Now, breaking ball is inside on Paredes, and it's 2-1 with Espinal on deck. Well, the Barnstormers' record 7. That's already been tied. The most against the club in any one season had been 6, which had happened once or twice. Now 3-1 on Paredes. That has been shattered here in 2021. And previously, the most we had seen combined between the Barnstormers and their opposition had been 10. And there's a drive by Paredes. Nothing's holding this one in. He's got a 2-run shot, and now it is 8-2. Paredes with his 6th home run of the season, and that was a blast off the 3-1 pitch. Myers comes across ahead of it. The Barnstormers are down 6. Paredes extends the lead. Edwin Espinal will come to the plate, 1 for 3 with a run scored. 3 extra base hits have produced the 8 runs for Charleston in the game. Lancaster down by 6 here in the 6th inning. No question about that one. It's a straightaway right field, and now Espinal is in against Granites. Garrett's pitch is taken for a strike. It is 0-1. West Virginia leading Lancaster 8-2. By the looks of it, the Barnstormers will still be in first place at the end of the night, but 8-6 instead of the 8-4 record coming in here. Ball inside on Espinal. It is 1-1. That's unless Southern Maryland rallies in the bottom of the 9th. Now 2-1 on Espinal. Defense straight up here. Ball beaten foul over on the third base side. It levels at 2-2. Swing and a miss. So Granite's puts away Espinal to end the inning. Garrett chalking up his first strikeout of the night, but it's 2 runs on the blow by Paredes, 1 hit with no errors, nobody left on base. We're done with 6 tonight, and Charleston has exploded ahead to an 8-2 lead.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
For the youth of our area, the Barnstormers are offering a wide variety of camps throughout the summer to teach everyone some tips on baseball and softball. Camps are offered to kids as young as 4 and as old as 12. Some even involve the parents. They run from June 15 all the way through August 28. For more information, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and click on the Clinics tab. All presented by Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster.
8-2 Charleston. We go to the 7th inning. Eric Sakula remains on the hill for the Charlies. He's pitched a gem tonight. 5 hits, 2 runs, and only 1 earned without a base on balls. Trayvon Robinson leading off for the Barnstormers. He has struck out looking and flied to center. Barnstormers had the early lead tonight, but it got away quickly. And then the tie held until the 2-out grand slam by Kopak in the bottom of the 5th inning. Paredes has just tacked on a 2-run homer. The deficit at 6. Sakula to Robinson, a swing and a miss. He is down a strike. It is 0-1. Robinson played to pull by the infield. He gets a breaking ball low. It's 1-1. The Barnstormers have not hit a ball on the ground since DeAzer bounced into a double play back in the 3rd inning. Here's a 1-1. Robinson swats that foul, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Barnstormers down by 6 in the top half of the 7th inning. They'd like to be able to make Charleston get a little bit restless here over these final 3 innings, as has been done to them so often. Right-hander warming up at the bullpen for the Barnstormers might be Brent Teller. 1-2 pitch. Doesn't fade back to the inside corner. Robinson got rung up in that neighborhood back in the 1st inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Trayvon. Sakula has retired 7 straight since Devon Torrance, the on-deck batter, legged out a double in the 4th inning, and now Robinson strikes out. That is 6 for Sakula in the ballgame. Torrance comes to the plate. He's singled, he's doubled, he has 2 stolen bases and a run scored. If he gets on, he's not stealing here. 6-run deficit in the 7th inning. It's all Charleston at the moment. Sakula will deliver, and ball 1 is inside to Torrance. 1 ball and nothing. Good to see Devon picking up some base hits. He had slumped for a while. He has figured out Sakula, at least so far tonight. Time is called at home plate. Previously, Devon had only one hit against West Virginia. 1 ball and no strikes to Torrance. The motion, Sakula to the plate, and he misses again. Torrance bats at 2-0. The Barnstormers have gone down 1, 2, 3 in each of the last 2 innings on a total of only 17 pitches from the right-hander. 1 out here, and it's 2-0 to Torrance. Devon will swing away and line it to right field. He's 3 for 3. And that ball bounces away from Liriano. Torrance is digging for 2, and he'll be in. The throw into the cutoff man, Rosario, who had no time to spin and throw to second base. And the Barnstormers get a runner in scoring position. Quite a night for Devon Torrance. Time is called as he hands off his batting gloves to the first base coach. I guess that's Jake Hoover out there. Jacket clad here tonight. So that should be a single and an error on Liriano, who seemed to play that somewhat casually. Anderson De La Rosa comes to the plate. He has struck out twice. Heck of a night for Devon. The Barnstormers look to at least get this run home. 2 chances to do it. Sakula to De La Rosa, and a strike to the inside corner. It is 0-1. De La Rosa enjoys Charleston. He's had the chance to catch up with some of his old friends here, but he has not hit well in this ballpark this year. He's been very frustrated here. He has struck out about half of his at-bats. 0-1. Sakula comes back. De La Rosa pulls a grounder foul, and Ross stabs that one. One of our best defensive plays of the game. It's 0-2 on the catcher, De La Rosa. 8-2, Charleston leading in the top of the 7th. De La Rosa batting with Shumpert on deck. Three hits for Torrance. He leads off of second. That is half the Barnstormers total. Gindel, Alleman, and Dugan have the others all early in the game. Time is granted here just as Sakula was starting into the motion, and he steps off abruptly afterwards. (0-2) to De La Rosa. Sakula goes back to work. The pitch is tapped foul again, and Ross lets this one go. Callaspo will take it instead. Still 2 strikes to Anderson. (0-2) is coming once again. Sakula brings it home, and Della fends off another. Sakula's pitch count's getting closer to 100. Nobody has thrown all night long in the West Virginia bullpen, but now Paul Menhart comes out of the dugout and does the chicken dance, which is the signal for a particular pitcher to begin to throw. That's what pitching coaches do. They have signals for each given reliever down there. 0-2. De La Rosa lays off ball 1 and a slider away. West Virginia's bullpen was pretty strong last night, including the position player Dominic Bethencourt, who was the first guy out. He eventually gave up 2 runs on the Barnstormers' speed. 1-2 to De La Rosa. The motion and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He has struck out swinging all 3 trips tonight. 7 strikeouts for Sakula. And now here is Nick Shumpert. 0 for 2 for him in the game. And a couple of pop flies. It is a lefty warming up in the bullpen, and I believe that is Luis Guzman because it doesn't look like the other lefty, Joe Testa. that we saw last night. It was a good deal shorter. 2 outs. Torrance leads off second. Sakula will bring it home, and Schumpert gets hit by the pitch, which will bring on Rendon. Well, if the Barnstormers are to get back into this game, Cleo's got to do something here. The left-hander throwing in the bullpen, again, we'll assume it's Guzman. We haven't picked up a number. Is nowhere near ready to go. The Barnstormers have runners at first and second. Sakula is right around 100 pitches. He could be fading, and this is the shot. 2 men on in the 7th inning. Rendon has flied to deep center, and he has struck out here tonight after a perfect game last night. Charleston 8, Lancaster 2 in the top of the 7th inning. Rendon trying to extend it and get Gindel up. Here's the pitch to Cleo Luis, down and in for a ball, 1-0. The left-hander is, of course, getting ready for the Gindel Allemond, and those two specifically, although Allemond is back to switch hitting. Time called. Out to the mound goes Gonzalez to discuss matters with Sakula. And right out there is Pat Atkin, the home plate umpire, to determine whether or not this is a timeout. It is not. They discussed only signs. You are allowed to do that under the Atlantic League rules. 1-0, the count on Cleo Luis Rendon. Torrance at second, Schumpert at first. You've got some speed out there. And Rendon has to get it done with the bat right now and get the Barnstormers partway back in this game. Two outs and 2 on. Rendon bats at 1-0. The Sakula pitch delivered for a strike called, and it's 1-1. Rendon 9 out of 20 against Charleston in the season series. A ball and a strike. Rendon lets it go, and ball 2 rides in high. It gives the Barnstormers shortstop a slight advantage here. 2-1 the count. The longer at bat is also giving Guzman a little bit more time to warm up down in the bullpen. Two and one. Rendon looks at ball 3. A walk would bring Gindel up with the bases loaded. And I now can verify that it is indeed Luis Guzman. I finally picked up the number 19. 3-1. Rendon needs to be patient here. Sakula has not walked anyone all night long. And the pitch is good for strike 2. That was in a good spot for Eric Sakula. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Arguably, Sakula is facing his final batter of the ball game. Can that final batter get something done for the Barnstormers to keep this inning going? 3-2 to Cleo Luis Rendon with 2 outs and 2 on. Runners take off. The pitch is wrapped sharply foul and leaks on through the guy guarding the bullpen. But he got a glove on it and slowed it to a trickle. 3-2 continuing on Cleo Luis Rendon. Lancaster trying to play catch-up in the top of the 7th inning. Rendon has to do something. Gindel has to do something. And then the Barnstormers would be back in the game. 3-2 again. Torrance and Schumpert will be on the move. Time is called by the plate umpire Atkin. (3-2) with 2 outs. There they go. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And the Barnstormers fail to capitalize on an opportunity here in the 7th inning as Sakula strikes out his 8th. No runs on a hit with an error and 2 left. We're at the stretch. Charleston leads by an 8-2 score.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
This is the sound of someone getting the most out of a summer day. So is this. Because for some, summer days were made for adventure. At the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, you'll find great deals on our entire line of leading-edge hybrids, each with the power and range to help you get the most out of your summer. But hurry, the sale ends September 7th. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Ross Peoples has made a double switch going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Brent Teller is on the hill, and now into play shortstop is Jake Hoover, replacing Clea Luis Rendon, who made the final out in the top half of this inning. The Charlies enjoying the 8-2 lead, and Teller just looking to stem the flow as we go to this bottom half of inning 7. So Pat Atkin doing what the umpires should do. The question is whether everybody in the press box picks it up, and I think that it needs to be relayed. There needs to be a spotter in the press box who passes these moves along to everybody. If I'm putting a spot in or typing an update on Twitter or the homepage and I miss the signal, you can easily get lost. Now, here I happen to pick up that Hoover had gone into play short, but you don't always see it if you're looking away for whatever reason, and you come back and you're trying to figure out what's going on. First pitch from Teller is just a touch low to Olmo Rosario. Ball 1, no strikes. Granite's worked an inning and a third. He gave up 1 hit and 2 runs. The hit was the home run by Paredes. Garrett walked 1 and struck out 1. 1 ball and no strikes. And Rosario, it is up 2-0 from the right-hander Teller. Bottom of the 7th inning. Charleston with the lead by 6. Fastball gets the inner part of the plate, and now it is 2-1. Lancaster wrapping up this series tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. Some of these Southern Division teams have gone to the earlier Sunday starts to get these clubs with the long trips back on the road. Charleston, Lexington has done it as well. 3-1 to Rosario. Teller will fire, check swing. He didn't go, and Rosario is on base again. He draws the leadoff walk, 7, given up by the Barnstormers in the game. This is the 3rd of 7 innings tonight that the leadoff man has walked, and that man has scored both other occasions. Reimer Liriano has walked twice and doubled. He has scored 2. Charleston leading by 6. They've hit the long balls tonight. The Barnstormers' bats have been relatively quiet. Fouled off. It is 0-1 on Liriano. Sakula likely to be done after 7 innings of work, but 8 strikeouts and no walks. That is the ticket to successful pitching. And it doesn't, the strikeouts don't necessarily matter all that much. The 0 walks definitely matters. Inside and it is 1-1 on Liriano. And that has been problematic for the Barnstormers this entire season, the base on balls. To a pretty extreme level. Next pitch by Teller is hit in the air, center field, straight away. Retreating on his Torrance. He is able to recover and make the catch. And jogging back to first is Rosario. Center field straight away seems to be fairly tricky for whatever reason in this ballpark. Myers got terribly turned around on a drive earlier in this game, but he held on. That was against Rendon back in the second inning, and now Torrance turned every which way, but makes the catch against Liriano. With one away, here is Connor Kopak, who's had a tremendous game tonight. 2 for 3 with 6 runs batted in. Teller locates the zone and gets ahead at 0-1. With Jovan Gonzalez due next. Teller snaps off a breaking ball. That was a beauty. And he's ahead at 0-2. Barnstormers back home for the upcoming week. Lexington and Charleston coming in. Next Friday is Willy Wonka night. Fastball and see you later. So Teller solves Kopak. We've got 2 outs in the 7th inning, and Jovan Gonzalez will step to the plate. Willy Wonka night. Do I get to dress in a crazy costume and hand out candy? Do I get a golden ticket? The Roald Dahl classic. Willy Wonka, or really Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was the original book. Beautiful breaking ball again, and Teller is ahead of Gonzalez at 0-1. Willy Wonka became the lead character once it became a movie sensation. Driven down the right field side and foul off the bat of Gonzalez. It's 0-2. Gene Wilder and then Johnny Depp, I guess, played Willy Wonka in the films. I remember Jack Albertson being the grandfather in the bed in the first one. Brought him up recently with the show Chico and the Man and Freddie Prinze. 0-2. Breaking ball, and this is punched out of play down the right side. Gonzalez remains alive with 2 strikes in the count, 2 outs. And the runner at first base is our man Olmo. Maybe he'll slow down when he turns 41 in 3 days. Doesn't look like it. Here's the 0-2 from Teller, and he gets Gonzalez to chase. Tough start to the inning with the leadoff walk, but then Teller bounces back and pitches brilliantly. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We'll go to the 8th inning of baseball tonight, and Charleston still holding on to the 8-2 lead.
We are finally back enjoying Barnstormers baseball. I'm Adam Gocknauer from Gocknauer Appliances and thrilled to be sponsoring Barnstormers baseball yet again. We also wanted to thank all of you for your incredible support for our business during the pandemic. We are so happy to still be here helping you with the best brand names and the best prices of major appliances in the area. Enjoy the game, and we will continue to service you now and into the future. Gocknauer Appliances in East Petersburg and on the web at gocknauers.com.
New to Clipper Magazine Stadium in 2021 is Otto's Hospitality. Otto's is totally committed to the fan experience, from quality to convenience to safety. And they are committed to Lancaster, using local food purveyors whenever possible. New menu items like homemade Brauhaus pretzels, Black Angus burgers, and Otto's meatballs are sure to make any Barnstormers game even more fun. Use self-ordering kiosks or your phone instead of waiting in the lines. That's Otto's Hospitality.
Eric Sakula is finished for the night. He goes 7 innings, giving up 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He did not walk anybody. We haven't seen that very often or been able to say that very often all season. He hit a batter, threw a wild pitch, struck out 8, and Sakula departs what appears to be on the way to his 6th win of the season. The Barnstormers still get 2 more turns. They'll face Luis Guzman here in the 8th inning with Gindel, Allemond, and Hoover to step in. Guzman from Caracas, Venezuela, 6'1" and 195 pounds. The left-hander is 25 years of age. Continuing to take his warm-up throws here before we get the 8th inning underway. Next Saturday night, we'll have fireworks at Clipper Magazine Stadium. It's our last home weekend of the cultural summer, not necessarily the astronomical one or the meteorological one, but certainly the cultural one. Summertime culturally from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Now here is Caleb Gindel. He's 1 for 3 tonight, starting things off against Guzman, who's in his 13th appearance, and he's been a very good pickup for West Virginia. Only 8 hits in 14 1/3 innings. He has walked 8 and struck out 21. Charleston intent on holding this 8-2 lead as we go into the 8th inning. Gindel and Allemond, and I would imagine it will be Clark. Well, it's Hoover, rather, in that spot. We may not see a pinch hitter again tonight. Gindel goes after the first pitch, and it's a soft liner out to right, played by Liriano, and that is 1 out on 1 pitch to start this 8th inning. Blake Allemond to the plate. He is 1 out of 3. I don't know if this season has caught up to this Barnstormers lineup or the trip here or what it is, but these bats have gone very flat from the middle innings on the first 2 games of this series. Fastball for a strike, it's 0-1. Maybe it's Charleston pitching. Maybe it's the deflation after the pitching staff gives up a bunch of runs to Allemond in the dirt for a ball, and the count levels at 1-1. But it's been, after a great start last night, a little bit of a discouraging series. You're going to go through times like this, of course, that the Barnstormers really had a chance to jump out ahead in the North. Ball 2 is high, 2-1. Remember, it has been 6 years now since the last time the Barnstormers celebrated anything with their fans. That was clinching the second half back in 2015. 2 balls and a strike. Pulled out the left field by Allemond. This is hit pretty well. All the way back it goes, and the walls will not contain it. Well, Blake Allemond with a solo shot here in the 8th inning off Guzman, and that will make it 8-3. Allemond with his 16th home run of the season, and he has homered for the 3rd consecutive game. He's hit 8 home runs now in the last 17 contests. Jake Hoover steps in. A bolt out of the blue for the Barnstormers, and it's now 8-3. Hits are even at 7. Hoover, batting for the first time tonight, gets a fastball outside. It is ball 1. And Blake has to feel very good that he's comfortable enough from the right side of the plate again to jack one out of the park. That went to straightaway left. Low now to Hoover, and it's 2-0. So the bats spring back to life, at least momentarily. 32nd extra base hit for Alleman. He wields surprising power. 2-0. Guzman to the plate, and Hoover fouls that back. 2 balls and 1 strike. So you're looking at it, the top 3 in the Barnstormers lineup have connected for 51 home runs on this season. Gendel 22, Alleman 16, and Galen with 13. Only Clark also has hit double digits. Fouled by Hoover, 2-2. I have to believe that Dugan and Robinson will get the double figures before the season is over. Only 1 year has gone by where the Barnstormers haven't had anybody get to 20. It was 2009, I believe. 2-2, Guzman to Hoover. The breaking ball gets the outside corner for strike 3. Hoover questions that one. It's the 9th Barnstormer to strike out tonight. Kelly Dugan is 1 for 3 with a run batted in. Boy, that outside corner, little wide on that one. I'm sitting right there. That ball was not over the traditional white of the plate, but with the strike zone as it's set up, it caught the edge of that plane. The 9th Barnstormer to strike out in the game. Now Dugan awaits the 1-0. He takes ball 2. 2 balls and nothing. 8-3 our score in the top of the 8th inning. The Barnstormers obviously have to do a whole lot more with 4 outs left of them. 1-1 to Kelly. The pitch is chopped foul off his foot. 2nd strike to the Barnstormers' first baseman. Gonzalez went ahead and fired that to first base anyway. It had already been signaled foul. He just didn't think it was, and he was going to show his opinion. And, of course, the fans are yelling, he's out, he's out, he's out. It had been ruled foul moments ago. Dugan bats at 1-2 against Guzman. The left-hander almost working out of some kind of a slide step, fires. That is cut on and missed. Boy, does he hide the ball well. The Barnstormers get a run on a hit with no errors, nobody left. 10 Barnstormers have fanned in the game now. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Charleston leading by the score of 8-3.
Like craft beers? Then the best place to be in Lancaster is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, celebrate baseball or just a night with your friends at the Broken Bat Deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat features more than 20 local craft breweries, plus product from a local winery. Food including Otto's Meatballs is sold off a pub-style menu. So get together, hang out with your friends, or make some new ones. Enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
This is the sound of the kind of thrill ride summer was made for. Here's the sound of another one. At the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, you'll find great deals on our entire line of performance vehicles, including the RCF, LC, and IS. Strap in and then hold on tight. But hurry, the sale ends September 7th. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Teller will work the bottom of the 8th, facing Myers, Martinez, and Callaspo. Then the pitcher spot will come up. 8-3 our score, following the Alleman home run in the top half of the inning. Barnstormers will need 5 more. Now, it is locked that the Barnstormers will hold on to first place by a game, as Southern Maryland lost to Long Island 6-3. Already a final. Lexington has defeated High Point and that winning streak. 7-6 was the score. And York and Gastonia split. So this could be a big night for West Virginia. They're 3 outs away from climbing to within a game and a half of first place in the Southern Division. Gastonia 11-6 and High Point 10-6. The Barnstormers will be up 1 on Southern Maryland, and Long Island is closing in as well. Teller's pitch, fastball is high, and that is ball 1 to Connor Myers. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, and anytime this guy gets on base, he scores. 11 times the last 8 games he has crossed the plate. Teller comes back, missing out, getting the outside corner, and it is 1-1. And Myers will walk off. One and one. To Myers, fastball met and fouled away for a second strike. We go to 1-2. So the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 8th. The Barnstormers have Robinson, Torrance, De La Rosa in the top of the 9th inning, needing 5. Tonight, the Barnstormers have not been their usually adept selves with runners in scoring position. They're just 1 for 6, 4 strikeouts involved. Knocked foul, and Myers stays in with the 1-2 count. Dugan singled in a run in the first inning, the run in the second, scored on a balk, and Alleman with the solo home run. The Barnstormers have not left very many runners on base, just 4. 1-2 to Myers. Teller's pitch, chased. He has struck out 3 in a row, and he's made them look pretty bad. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Teodoro Martinez will step in, kicking his bat, of course, first. 0 for 3 with the walk back in the second inning. Niall Ball pitched out of some trouble in the second, some trouble in the third, and he was on the verge of getting out of the 5th inning when everything fell apart and he gave up the grand slam to Kopak. Teodoro Martinez looks at a strike. It is 0-1. Alberto Callaspo is a scheduled hitter on deck. 0-1. Teller goes back to work. This is skied on the left side, shallow left field. Who's calling for it out there? It will eventually be Hoover making the catch. 2 outs. Hoover, Shumpert, and Robinson surrounded that pop fly. The shortstop taking charge. 2 outs. Here is Callaspo. He is 1 for 3. Connor Kopak has been the difference here tonight. Not the ex-big leaguers in Callaspo and Paredes, although Paredes does have a home run, not Reimer Liriano. Kopak just let go by the Seattle Mariners out of Double-A. He does have some pop for a middle infielder, and his 2-run double in the second and grand slam in the 5th serving as the difference in this game. Fouled off by Callaspo. It's 1-1. The Barnstormers somehow need to find a 5-run inning. A right-hander is warming up down in the bullpen. Two outs with the bases empty. Here's the 1-1. That breaks to the inside corner. It is a second strike. If you can find the corners of the plate here, and this is what Sakula did so well, you can have a lot of success. And that's the way that the ABS is set up. Fastball is low, 2-2. You're not going to get the calls at the knees. You're not going to get the calls at the letters. But you can work the edges and do very well. 2-2 to Cayaspo. Teller is down with that one. And it's a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson, Torrance, and De La Rosa again due to step in the 9th inning. The pitcher spot would be coming up 5th. And if we get there, you'll probably see Clark. Ball 4 is outside. Teller issues his second walk. And we'll see Dominic Bethencourt come on as a pinch hitter. A guy who at one point had a chance to be the winning pitcher last night. He's also an infielder. And 2 plate appearances last night resulted in a walk and a double. You know, a man of many talents is Mr. Bethencourt. Right-handed hitter all the way. At the plate, he's hitting .266 with 3 homers and 13 runs batted in. Teller to the plate, and he paints the edge, strike 1. Teller has struck out 3, walked 2, gotten a fly ball to fairly deep center and a pop up to shallow left. The 0-1 breaks off the outside corner. Ball 1 and strike 1 to Dominic Bethencourt. Edwin Espinal wielding the lumber in the on-deck area. Like many other ballparks, no longer is there a circle chalked in out there or painted or matted. Ground ball shortstop. Hoover with an easy play. He'll feed Alleman to end the inning. 6-4. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We're on our way to the top half of the 9th inning. The score, Charleston 8 and Lancaster 3.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, $2 bill here, AKA the rare one. Problem is, I'm so rare, people just saved me. But thanks to the new Cash Vibe with Quick Cash from the PA Lottery, I'm back in business. For just $2, you can get bigger jackpots starting at $150 grand. Plus Quick Cash, a chance to instantly win $2 or $6. Haha, it's good to be wanted.
Play Cash 5 with Quick Cash from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
Maddox Conjure will be asked to wrap it up tonight for West Virginia. Conjure is entering his 8th game. He's covered 8 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. He's walked 9 and struck out 12. But no need to use Mike Broadway tonight in a non-save situation. He nailed last night's game down. Conjure from Stephenville, Texas. He is 25 years of age, 6'3", and he goes 210 pounds. Robinson, Torrance, De La Rosa, and if the Barnstormers can get something going, Schumpert and then the pitcher spot, probably Clark, would take that turn. Clark and Peroni are the 2 men back. Rendon and Deaza are out of the game. Robinson will lead it off. He's 0 for 3, and he has struck out twice. There is a whisper of a chance to complete this game in under 3 hours tonight, but everybody would pretty much have to swing at the first pitch. 8-3 in favor of Charleston as Robinson gets ready to lead off here. Tough night for Trayvon, 0 for 3. He has struck out twice and flied out to center. We'll see if Torrance can go 4 for 4. The last time he had 4 hits in a game, created some issues at Sugar Land. You remember that. Robinson goes after the first pitch, but is able to just poke it up toward the rooftop on the third base side. It is 0-1. Lancaster got 1 run back last inning on the Allemond homer to straightaway left. Robinson trying to trigger something against Conjure here in the top of the 9th. He flies this to left field. Long way to go, but Martinez will get there. He makes the catch. That is 1 out. Gendel flied to left and fouled to the shortstop tonight. Dugan is flied to left. Robinson now flies to left. I thought there were actually a couple more than that. Torrance, the batter, 3 for 3. I allude to a previous 4-hit game for Torrance. The 4th hit, if you remember, was a bunt with the Barnstormers leading by a few runs at Sugar Land, and that was the moment that precipitated the brawl that got Pete Incaviglia suspended, some Barnstormers suspended. Ultimately, the ugliest scene I think I have witnessed in my 16 years in the broadcast booth for the Barnstormers. Maybe the Jose Cabrera incident back in 08 could parallel it. 0-1. The count to Devon. He will look at a strike at the knees. It is 0-2. De La Rosa is on deck. Torrance with 2 hits to right, 1 to left center in this game. 0-2. That is low. Ball 1 and 2 strikes to Devon, and we have reached 3 hours. So this will not be the 6th game in under 3. 1-2. Here's the wind, the pitch. Torrance grounds it to the shortstop. It'll be handled by Kopak, who will gun down Devon. 2 outs here in the 9th. The Barnstormers are down to their final hope in De La Rosa. Guzman worked the 8th inning. He gave up the home run and struck out 2. De La Rosa steps in. He is 0 for 3 in this one. Barnstormers down to the nub here tonight. 32-41 the attendance at Appalachian Power Park to De La Rosa. A fastball is outside. It is ball 1-0. Lancaster scored the first 2 runs of this game. Charleston scored 8 on 3 big swings of the bat. And then Allemond with the home run last inning. 2-0 on De La Rosa. Nick Schumpert is the on-deck hitter for the Barnstormers. He has been aboard once tonight. Lancaster had been winning without hitting the ball all that well. You haven't seen a lot of the double-digit hit games recently. They'd only hit .239 over the previous 10 games. That's kind of continued into tonight with just 7 hits here, and now it's 3-0 on De La Rosa. But the last 3 games, the pitching has started to struggle again. That is not the combination you want. So you've got to turn it back around on both fronts. Here's the 3-0. De La Rosa will see ball 4 and extend the game on a 2-out walk, the first given up by Charleston pitching in the game. De La Rosa's on. Schumpert will come to the plate. He's 0 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch. Just the 9th base runner for the Barnstormers on the night. They haven't put together really many significant threats. De La Rosa not being held by Espinal. Schumpert batting. Takes a swing and misses at the curveball. It is 0-1. Espinosa could take off for second. Nobody will really care. Schumpert, slow ground ball to the shortstop. Kopak will pick it up, and his throw is managed by Espinal doing the splits over at first. And our ball game tonight is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on in the top half of the ninth inning. Charleston, after dropping the first 6 to the Barnstormers this season, has taken the first 2 of this series. We'll be back to wrap this one up in just a moment. Our final score, Charleston 8 and Lancaster 3.
When everyone has a different craving, Wegmans Meals to Go has it all. All right now, all in one delivery. Pizza with the kids' favorite toppings. A delicious sub made the way you love. Fresh sushi for the whole group, and so much more. It's how busy people get busy eating the meals they love. Order on the Meals to Go app or at mealstogo.com to make everyone happy. Wegmans Meals to Go. All your favorite meals, all in one delivery.
Like craft beers? Then the best place to be in Lancaster is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, celebrate baseball or just a night with your friends at the Broken Bat Deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat features more than 20 local craft breweries, plus product from a local winery. Food including Otto's Meatballs is sold off a pub-style menu. So get together, hang out with your friends, or make some new ones. Enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
The Barnstormers fall for the second straight night, 8-3. Last night, a shock with the big rally after the Barnstormers bolted out to the 8-0 lead. Tonight, Charleston took control of the game a little bit earlier, and they go on to win 8-3. For the Charlies tonight, 8 runs on only 7 hits with 2 errors, 7 left. The Barnstormers, 3 runs on 7 hits with no errors, 4 left. Eric Sakula with one of the better starts that the Barnstormers have faced all year. He improves to 6-7. Niall Ball, with the loss, goes to 2-3. There was no save in the game. Home runs were the story largely for Charleston tonight. The grand slam by Connor Kopak in the 5th inning, his 2nd home run in the Atlantic League. Jimmy Paredes tacked on a 2-run homer in the 6th. It was number 6 for him. Blake Allemond capped the scoring tonight with his 16th home run of the year, a solo shot to left field in the top half of the 8th inning. 3 hours, 3 minutes, the time of our game. 32-41 on hand here in Charleston tonight as they talk to the star of the game, Connor Kopak, out on the field. A 6 RBI game, the 4th of those against the Barnstormers on the season. Barnstormers took the early lead in the 1st inning. Caleb Gindel singled, went to second on a wild pitch, and it came around on a 2-out single into right by Kelly Dugan. Lancaster taking the 1-zip lead there, and then in the 2nd inning, Devon Torrance singled into right, promptly stole second base, took third on a throw that got through Omo Rosario as he found himself blinded by the light. The sun set straight behind home plate here, and he did not see the throw coming from Jovan Gonzalez. That allowed Torrance to go to third. He scored on a balk, which by the looks of things was the similar scenario to the balk charged against Dominic DeSabatino here last night. It's all about here, for some reason, they insist that if you're going to throw out of the windup with a runner at third, which is fairly customary, with a runner just at third base or second and third or the bases loaded, they insist that you tell the umpires that that is what you're going to do. Sakula charged with the balk. The Barnstormers went up 2-0. Kopak tied it in the bottom of the 2nd with a 2-run double to left following walks to Rosario and Liriano. Ball got out of the inning from there. He got out of a jam again in the 3rd inning. And then in the 5th, it looked like he was going to get out of another. Alberto Callaspo led off with a single into right, took second on a wild pitch, and then went to third on a 4-3 ground out by Jimmy Paredes. So it was 1 out, runner at third base. Edwin Espinal had a quick one-hopper to Nick Schumpert. Kayaspo was sent on contact, and he was easily thrown out at the plate by Nick. It was 2 outs with Espinal, the runner at first base, but Ball could not close out the inning. Olmo Rosario singled into right, sending Espinal to second. A walk to Reimer Liriano loaded the bases, and Kopach unloaded the grand slam. We ran through the data earlier in the game. The 16th grand slam that has taken place in a Barnstormers game here in 2021. By far the record. The previous high had been 10. It made it 6-2. Paredes added the 2-run homer in the 6th inning, and the Barnstormers got the long ball out of Alamand in the 8th to bring us to our final score tonight of 8-3. Again, in the other Atlantic League action, Gastonia won the opener at York 7-6, and the Revs took the 9-inning nightcap by a final score of 3-1. It was Lexington edging High Point 7-6, and Long Island tripped up Southern Maryland by the score of 6-3. So the Barnstormers close out the night at 8-6 here in the second half. They have dropped these 2 games here in Charleston this weekend. They'll close out the series tomorrow. Tommy Shirley on the hill for the Barnstormers in the finale. Shirley will come in with a record of 2-2. Alexis Candelario will take the mound for Charleston. He is 2-2 here and 2-6 overall in the Atlantic League on the season. So join us at 1 o'clock tomorrow for the finale of this 3-game series. Until then, for Ryan Cartazzo back at Clipper Magazine Stadium, our video producer, for all the cast and crew at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and our presenting sponsor, Gockenauer Appliances of East Petersburg, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, and come Tuesday, we'll see you at the ballpark.